So I love playing Tekken, but one thing I've never done is know the story. I don't know what happens in Tekken. All I know is that people hate their dads, and I guess that was pretty much the story. Over here, we're learning the whole of the Tekken lore. There's a whole 2-hour video. I've sadly already forgot the creator's name who made it, but I will link them down below in the description. Amazing video. I'm just making an intro because I forgot to do it on stream. Hope you guys enjoy. With that said, enjoy my whole deep dive. Well, not deep dive, my confusing journey into this Tekken lore. It was a lot. Yeah, stay tuned. And we're gonna start playing the Tekken 8 story probably tomorrow on YouTube. Also not YouTube, we're gonna do it on Twitch, so come down. I'm excited to see what happens in Tekken 8, all the new characters. I want to see what happens with Rana mainly. I love Rana. I love Rana. I'm a King main, so do it with that what you will. And yeah, we love to play Tekken on stream, play the story, play ranked, you know. I just want to do a bunch of stuff. With that said, yo, like, sub, comment down below, helps aggro him out a lot, and let's get into this lore video.
I couldn't pull off a 10-string to save my life. You'd more than likely kick my ass, but I'm still gonna have fun regardless.
He's like me.
Button mashing or using muscle
I'm kind of quiet
I can't
now.
Possibly articulate. It's still satisfying to knock some virtual
I should sound good.
heads. There is an energy with
do
this
like
genre
this.
that is rarely matched. The speed, the music, the animations and VO.
I just need a good mix, yeah. If it's like a decent sound and I'm louder, then I'm fine with that. I don't want to be too loud or the video be too loud, right? I need a good mix. Probably like this is decent, right?
Goes a long way.
Right?
If your game has lots of personality and feels satisfying to play, then you're gonna win me over. I mean, who didn't want to be Ryu or Chun-Li when they first played Street Fighter?
I hope so.
Who didn't love the ninjas of Mortal Kombat?
I need ninjas.
I remember booting up Soul Calibur 2 and being instantly drawn to Nightmare.
I'm good. Nice.
The Azure Demon who wields the demonic blade Soul Edge.
See, I don't know nothing about fighting games besides like Street Fighter and Tekken.
Level,
Actually, I don't know nothing about Tekken, like I said.
But these characters have lore behind them, and digging deeper helps you discover that this scary-looking fighter is actually a tragic figure. A man named Siegfried, one who sought the evil blade to gain the power that could avenge his father.
It's a Tekken lore video.
Reality,
Based on my Soul Cal.
Away from the truth that he himself was the murderer.
And
this delusion only fuels his descent to the dark side as he falls deeper and deeper into insanity. Ultimately,
that's a fighting game?
A shallow husk of the person he used to be.
That don't seem like a fighting game. It seems like too deep for a fighting game, right?
Except there is, because when we get to Soul Calibur 3, Siegfried rejects the darkness inside him and regains his humanity. His story is continuing on redemption. It's a fantastic soap opera that just expands with each new entry. But you had to find out this information yourself. See, nowadays, every fighting game has a story.
Like reading lore books, I guess.
Back in the 90s and early 2000s, that wasn't the case. You picked your fighter, you took on a list of opponents, and if you were lucky, you got an ending with still images and text.
So old.
Mortal Kombat is the only game I remember that had biographies in the attract mode. Every other time, you had to consult the instruction booklet.
That is so much to read.
Never had endings to their games, so those manuals are essential.
You know,
anything.
This is why I'm like grateful for YouTube, right? Because as a kid, I would not have read any of that shit. But I can just watch videos on it now, because there was at least one person who did. Me, I would never know.
Did you know that Pi is a Hollywood actress? Neither did I! Figuring out fighting game lore
the fuck is that guy?
Like going to IKEA.
Is this Street Fighter? It is.
Pieces,
Studley.
But you have to
Who's the naked dude?
Yourself.
I ain't seen this guy in a while.
That takes us to the topic of today's video. I'd like to talk about Tekken.
What the hell is born? They look so old now, Jesus. How are these people I don't recognize? That's Jin.
Bandai Namco's best-selling franchises. Each game always ending up
with
7. The greatest hits
that's cool.
Re-release. Everyone's heard of it. It's incredibly popular, but being a fighting game, its lore is still very hidden, very obscure. When Nintendo's Smash Bros. Ultimate was rolling out DLC, the second last fighter revealed was Kazuya Mishima, one of the major characters.
People were like freaking out about that. I remember when that happened. Obviously, I wasn't a big Tekken fan back then, so
they knew where he was
I can imagine how big that was, though.
Why does he turn into a purple demon man? I mean, you'll watch all the big fighting game tournaments, Combo Breaker, Evo, and Tekken seems relatively normal at first. Just a bunch of martial artists fighting each other, right?
That's fair.
And then in one match, someone will pick Jack. the gigantic metal robot with the pink mohawk.
Yeah, we got whooped by Jack today.
Will pick Panda, a panda bear that knows Mishima-style karate.
Yeah.
And while they fight, the music that plays in the background might be a little strange.
See, that isn't like in 8. There's like alpaca map, so it's the exact same as this, but instead of sheep, there's alpacas. So it isn't too weird. I guess the song is very weird here though. It's kind of a banger though, right?
It's a franchise that looks really intense on the outside, but behind the curtain is some really goofy shit.
Is that where he died?
Lots of fighting games are silly and weird.
Oh, there was a kangaroo, wasn't there? I forgot about him.
From the very first console release, they actually made special FMV endings for every character. Some were badass, some were wholesome, but a lot of them were just crazy. And it made you want to beat the game with every fighter just to see.
I'm so confused right now.
Next.
There's like so many characters that.
Wait, did
the wood thing have tits? I do apologize, but like I don't know why I looked there, but like
just to see.
Why does the? Alright, well, don't worry about it.
What would happen next? Well, that's what got me hooked onto the lore and why it's been living in my head all these years. And it always led to amusing conversations because people couldn't believe that Tekken was so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. If you're trying to get into the series today, you'll start with Tekken 7. And while all of the past endings are unlockable, you still won't get any of the character backstories.
Oh, okay.
Jumping in late means you'll have to do research if you want to learn about Elisa Boskanovich, or why there's a boxing kangaroo. Without access to the rest of the series, you don't have the full scope of what the hell's going on.
That's true.
And that's what this video is for.
See, this is what I wanted. Because 8, like, apparently everyone's telling me the 8 story is like so good. I don't know shit though. I don't want to know shit. I could go play 7. Like this guy just went and said I can like learn the story from 7, but damn, do I want to do that? Do I want to go back to an old game? No, I do not.
3. I own every game in the series, and these last few months I have watched every prologue, studied every ending. I have plunged deep into the mythology so that I can cover it properly.
That's kind of fun.
Because I want everyone to know just how crazy this series really is. So,
he looks like such a Korean idol.
Let's talk about the insane lore of Tekken.
Why do they hate their daddies? That's what I want to know.
One thing I should address right off the bat, the name. Tekken is Japanese for Iron Fist. The title of the tournament
that makes sense.
Featured in every single game. And I think we're all saying it wrong. I've been saying Tekken because that's what all the commercials said.
There are games, and then there's Tekken 3.
Oh yeah, Tekken 4 is here.
I will defeat the Tekken fighters.
The Americans, them.
Tekken Tag Tournament.
But in the game itself, they say it very differently.
Tekken.
Tekken Force.
When Tekken fighters attacked her.
Yeah, it's
they say kind of weird still.
Tekken Tag Tournament. Tekken Blood Vengeance. We all made fun of Michelle Rodriguez, but she knew what was up.
Like literally spend all night playing like Tekken fighter games or Street Fighter.
So, you know.
Damn, she got cooked for that and she was right. Damn, that sucks.
Anywho, on to Tekken 1.
That happens though.
This game came out in 1994, where the saga begins with a father and his son who are training atop a giant mountain in Japan. This is the Mishima family, Heihachi and his 5-year-old son.
Whoop this kid's ass.
And unfortunately for the little squirt, his dad is a colossal asshole. Heihachi has brought his son to this mountain with the intent of throwing him into a ravine.
How did he survive that though?
The boy was worthy of carrying his legacy.
That's why?
Survive the fall. Obviously, being 5 years old.
So we threw him into the ravine, right? A 5-year-old to see if he could carry his legs. You know, it's an anime type of trope. Makes sense, but still kind of fucked up.
Do to stop this. But throwing him off the cliff was the worst.
I'll go back on that. Jesus. Damn.
But throwing him off the cliff was the worst mistake Heihachi could have made, because not only does Kazuya survive, but he also vows revenge. Their familial bond forever broken. We cut to 21 years later, where Heihachi is doing pretty good for himself.
Wait.
And this is where I start gushing about the guy.
I'm so confused. Did he not see his kid after that?
But the dude might be one of the most fascinating video game characters of all time. He is the CEO of the Mishima Zaibatsu, a gigantic conglomerate that not only runs sporting events, but also funds military projects.
Oh wow, sporting events and
That is
military.
so big and so rich that it has
Kuma.
branches in
It's
Europe
the,
and
bear.
America. Originally, it was on the up and up until Heihachi's father, Jinpachi Mishima, passed away.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Dante. It's like, would you go see your dad after he threw you off a cliff? See, I understand, right? But like, I mean, like, does that mean it said we go 21 years later, right? So I'm thinking, like, did we not see him like at all after? Like, did he not see his dad? But that makes sense. Yeah, I probably would not. I would not see any parent after they threw me off a cliff to a ravine. That makes sense.
Away.
That makes
Look
sense.
at that goddamn beard.
Wasn't
One
those such
has to
fancy
wonder if
hairstyles
Jinpachi's
too?
death was legit, because as soon as Heihachi gains control, he starts using the company for organized crime.
Oh wow.
He's basically the head of the Yakuza if it extended to the whole goddamn world.
Jesus.
Oh, and no one dares cross Heihachi, because try as they might, the man is unkillable.
Dad? Heihachi's dad? I don't want to play Val. I need to watch
He
this.
is the
I'll play
strongest
after.
fighter in the world. A man so
We'll see.
badass
Hi,
that
Kay.
he can
How
catch
are
a
you?
tomahawk with his fucking teeth. The dude is so intense that he once went into the wilderness and found a little baby grizzly cub. He brought the
Oh, so
bear
that's how
home
you train
and raised
Kuma.
it to be his pet. But over
Oh.
the years, he taught it some new tricks, such as how to understand Japanese and how to fight.
The bear knows Japanese too? I thought the bear could just fight, but the bear knows Japanese? It's kind
I
of scary.
repeat, he raised a bear and taught it Mishima-style karate. Heihachi has a grizzly bear
Why?
for a sparring partner. This is a playable character, by the way. You can fight as the bear.
That's
Kuma,
interesting lore, but
whose
fair enough.
character model was ugly as hell in the original game.
Hella ugly.
Well, maybe a
hella
CG render is
ugly.
better. Oh my god!
Why does he have such a butt
Oh, and it should
chin?
be mentioned that it wasn't enough for Heihachi to throw his son off a cliff. He also adopted another child purely to be a rival to the boy. An orphan who was good at fighting off street
Was
punks.
Lee, yeah.
Lee Chaolan was officially made a Mishima, where he enjoyed the Zaibatsu's grand wealth. If you think that Lee loves his
But Lee
adopted
doesn't use his
father,
style, right?
No. Like I said, Heihachi is a shitty father.
Yeah.
Anyway, Heihachi
Yeah.
is on top of the world. He's rich, he's powerful, but he feels so dissatisfied. Say what you will about his criminal ties,
I'll join you
the man
after, yeah,
only
yeah.
wants a fair fight. To meet that challenger who can finally push him to his limits and best him in combat. And so he comes up with a brilliant idea. The King of Iron Fist tournament.
Because he's dissatisfied? Okay, whatever. You know what? I don't want to complain anymore. I'm not surprised.
Head honcho and win the gigantic cash prize.
Huh.
And thus the stage for Tekken is set. A dozen weirdo fighters all coming together, including Kazuya, our would-be main character.
So, okay, I wonder if he knew
Now,
Kazuya was
of course,
alive,
he plays
right?
Kazuya, but he is up front and center as the star. He gets the most
He's kind of
famous
valid
fight,
in
he
his
takes up
revenge.
all the space. Hell, the poster's tagline is all about him. But what I find interesting about this is that Kazuya is not a hero. At all. Typically in fighting games, the main character is a babyface. Ryu from Street Fighter, Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat. These guys don't have any dark intentions, they just want to do the right thing and make
So a lot of people don't, like, I watch a lot of pro wrestling, so a lot of people don't know the term babyface, but usually babyface is like good guy, and then like heel is bad guy. I don't know if everyone knows that though.
the world a
Such a
better
weird term
place.
though. Like, why
But
babyface,
not
right?
Kazuya. Like, yeah, Heihachi's a criminal prick, but the goal isn't exactly noble. He wants to murder his father so that he can inherit the Zaibatsu and attain world domination. He doesn't want to restore honor to the
Is that like
company,
revenge on
he
your
wants
dad,
to
or was
be
that
the
just-
new big
Alright.
bad? And this isn't a retcon. Even as early as the first instruction manuals, he is described as a cold-blooded man who wants his coup d'etat. The main
Fair
character
enough.
is morally gray, and you're not supposed to root for him.
Nah,
I
nah,
find that fascinating.
that's
It really
kind of
sets the
odd.
tone for the Mishima storyline going forward. But let's talk about the other characters, like Jack the Robot, a
Mm-hmm.
mechanical humanoid built by the Russian military. They enter Jack
He is
into
Russian.
the tournament because they caught wind of Kazuya's plans and want
It's funny how Jack used to look like that, but the amount of like I've seen him in 8 because I faced him earlier. He looks nothing like that now. There was no human part about him anymore. Like maybe besides like a little bit of skin on his face. Yeah, that's kind
to
of
stop
crazy.
him from winning.
Full like a
The
full
rules
weapon.
for entering the tournament seem pretty lax
It's
because
insane.
apparently it's okay for martial artists to fight giant robot men made of titanium. Although to be fair, Jack can't be that tough because its model was mass produced for jobbing. Yeah, it's not a unique machine. There are hundreds, and I mean hundreds of Jack robots that all operate exactly the same. And throughout the series, the fighters will dispatch these tin cans.
What game is this?
Nothing, because honestly, they are.
Yeah, this looks weird. Yeah.
Programmed to dab
He's way
on
too
top of
big.
their beaten opponents, so I'll say that's kind of amazing. Who designed the Jack
and he does the little
robots?
Russian
Why,
dance? That's
Russian
cute.
Scientist Dr. Boskanovich. He's not a playable
Oh.
character, but he would become one in Tekken 3.
Okay.
This guy's basically the Dr. Light of Tekken. He's an incredibly talented
Is he good, though?
scientist who will be responsible for a lot of the crazy
What's his moveset
fighters
looking like?
coming up. For now,
Don't
though,
look too good,
he
though.
simply built Jack, and he made an artificial arm for another contestant, the Samurai Yoshimitsu.
Yoshimitsu's
Again,
a sword, though,
Swords
right?
are allowed in the Iron Fist tournament?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh,
Yoshi
literally,
here is a
right?
bit of a Robin Hood. He belongs to the Manji clan, a notorious bandit group that steals from the rich and gives to the poor. This clan has been around for hundreds of years, which leads to another fun factoid. Tekken is not the only series this character is in.
Oh.
Because Yoshimitsu's ancestor, who has the exact same name
Is
as
he gonna be in
fighting
something
style,
else? Some
is
random ass
also
fighting game?
present in Namco's Soul Calibur franchise.
Oh, wait, so it's by
And-
Bandai too.
and
Okay, that's dope.
Heihachi Mishima was actually a guest character for the PlayStation 2 version
Oh, that's dope.
of Soul Calibur 2.
Even Kuma is stronger than you.
But you don't care
Oh,
about that.
they gave him an
because
English
everyone
voice. That's
vastly
kinda
prefers
musty.
The GameCube version. It has Link, for God's sake.
Link? That's kind of cool though. I know, like, I think in Soul Calibur they have like Darth Vader, right? Like, out of all the characters, like they have like, I think it's Darth Vader and is it Ezio? I think it's Ezio, but I'm not sure. It might have been Ezio.
Interesting thing about
Unless I'm
Yoshi
tripping
here
about
is that his
Ezio.
sword, which is also called Yoshimitsu, is a demon blade that eats people's blood. And if the weapon is not sufficiently fed, it will gain the power to control its wielder's mind and unleash all kinds of evil. Luckily, this is never a problem because Yoshimitsu always punishes the wicked. But still, that's kind of insane. Next up is King, a Mexican wrestler who always wears a jaguar mask. We only ever see his face once in the very first opening ever. He wrestles so that he can earn money to keep his orphanage afloat. His Mexican orphanage that's filled with Japanese children.
See, you can't hate King. I'm already a King main, and he helping out the kids. Like, come on. What a good guy, right? See, like, I might as well be a good guy too then, because King is, you know? That's the logic I'm using. That's
I love
awesome.
this cheesy live-action ending.
But that's really
The
weird,
strangest thing
though.
about King is that he's not a mutant, he's not a science experiment, he's just a normal man.
He was-
But rather than speak a normal language, he only speaks in Jaguar.
Wait, what does it mean he's a normal guy? But he's a leopard. Leopard? Tiger? Leopard, right? Leopard, yeah. Jaguar. I'm so stupid. He said Jaguar, and I just said he's a okay, whatever. Don't worry about it. Pretend that never happened. Oh, this is a mask?
Don't lie to me.
How do you understand
It's the only
him?
franchise I can think of where every character
He's a normal
speaks their
dude with a
own native
mask?
language. Usually it's
Huh?
all English or all Japanese.
What?
Not this game. Paul Phoenix, the American, only speaks English.
Hmm.
Heihachi only speaks Japanese. Lily speaks French.
Yeah.
Leo speaks German. Claudio speaks Italian.
I like
It's
that.
so strange
See,
to
the thing I
have-
love about Tekken and other fighting games, they usually be like, yo, let's dub everyone. But then Tekken, they're just like, all right, let's let everyone to speak their own language. It's kind of dope compared to other things.
Scene where three different characters are saying three different languages, yet they can all
They
understand
all
each other
understand
just
each other.
fine.
That's funny
They
as
can
fuck.
also understand Kuma, and all he does is roar. Tekken is
He's like Groot.
so goddamn weird. It should also be mentioned that there is Armor King, another wrestler who wears a jaguar mask. His eye was crushed by King, which caused his wrestling career to suffer. He's
Oh,
entered
no.
the tournament for revenge. And then there is Anna and Nina Williams, the Williams sisters. Their parents taught the two how to fight to the point that they're both deadly assassins. But family or no, these two can't
Who's their
stand
mommy and
each
daddy,
other.
though?
Anna always jealous
Oh.
of the attention her father gave Nina.
Oh, they all
and
throwing
the latter
hands, huh?
always being cold and dismissive. Except when she's watching Tom and Jerry, because Nina's a big fan of Tom.
Oh, that's
I
fair.
didn't make that up. That's what the manual says.
That's what the manual says, yeah.
These two fight a lot. Like one time, Nina deliberately stole Anna's shoe, got called out on it, and so she slaps the shit out of Anna, cries at the abuse, and she laughs it off because, haha, I did have the shoe.
What?
In Tekken 2, she just barges into the bathroom while Anna's showering and snaps a nudie pic without her consent.
Alright. I shouldn't be surprised. You know, like, I love how I'm more surprised at this than like a fucking a bed talking and everyone understands it.
But it's okay because Anna got revenge when these 3 bodybuilder guys came up to flirt with them, and Anna took all 3 of them home.
Damn, she said I'll let them run a train on me because my sis ain't having one of them. That's crazy. What? Alright, well.
For you, Nina.
That's insane.
That apparently thought Nina
She said I'm gonna take 3 on 1.
Her own spin-off game.
So my sis don't get another one. That's crazy.
PS2. It sucks. Don't play it. I'm not covering it because it's wildly inconsistent with Nina's backstory in the main games. But maybe I'll give it a deeper look some other time. I gotta speed this up. There's Michelle, the Native American whose family was ruined by the Zaibatsu. There's Ganryu, a Japanese
I've never seen him.
Whose shameful behavior lost him respect.
A sumo would be cool.
Law. Yes, that's his name. Yeah. A chef working in San Francisco.
He's a chef?
He fights like Bruce Lee.
He be chefing me up though.
Game ever needed a Bruce Lee type.
Put more anger into it.
Marshall is best friends with another contestant named Paul Phoenix, and you don't want to sleep on this guy. He may be a brash, blowhard American. His hair would make a Eraserhead blush, but this guy is legit. He once fought Kazuya Mishima before the tournament, and the battle ended in a draw.
Oh.
He didn't win, but he didn't lose.
That's true.
He is on par with the protagonist. Remember that for later.
I mean, later. Okay, so let's come back.
Jinrei, a merchant and longtime friend of the Mishima family, in particular Jinpachi. He's on good terms with Heihachi, but he doesn't really approve of all the criminal activity.
Okay, so he's a nice dude.
That's the roster. Tekken 2 will go by a lot quicker because there's a lot of
so small. Jesus.
Character bios and
hey, my boy King's still in there though.
Games, I put
OG man, so
for what matches happened and who canonically won. This tournament's pretty straightforward. In the game itself, not every fighter is playable from the get-go.
Oh my god, it's so ugly.
Damn. And those unlock fights are all canon. Paul Phoenix defeated Kuma, Kazuya defeated Lee, Yoshimitsu defeated Ganryu, and even worse, he took all of his money. Money that he will not be getting back because it was given to people in much more need.
That's so wholesome of him, though. Okay, I like that.
A happy ending because Armor King realizes that he had truly been bested by a far superior wrestler. And rather than hold
that's why people say, why don't you play Armored King? That's why I don't need to play Armored King. It's King better. He's the OG.
Grudge forever, he decided it would be better to be in his corner, to be an ally instead of an enemy. Well, that's nice. And then we come to the semi-finals, the winner going on to face Heihachi. Kazuya versus Paul Phoenix.
Oh, he said it on par though, right?
Ended in a draw, but this time Kazuya pulls it out. He advances to the grand finals where Daddy Dearest awaits him.
He lose?
For the first time ever, Heihachi knows the sting of defeat as his
beat him. That's dope.
In what could only be called poetic justice, Kazuya decides to do the same
thing. He threw him off about
it? Had done to
That's
him.
dope. That's dope. Okay, what? The cutscenes are so bougie because it's probably like, I don't know, the 90s or something, or like the early 2000s, and I don't know. Why is the music just not fitting at all? Alright, whatever. I give up. I give up.
Fucking smile.
The
dude just murdered his father, and it's like, what a happy, wholesome moment.
And he died like that, huh?
That animation will never get old. But yeah, folks, with Heihachi supposedly dead,
supposedly,
Mishima Zaibatsu is now Kazuya's to control.
Now Kazuya looks so different here.
However, it's gonna take more than that to kill his old man.
Oh, so his dad came back. Damn. Oh, Tekken 2. Alright.
So 2 years have passed since the original Tekken, and Kazuya is now on top of the world. But like I said before, this man is not a good guy.
Yeah.
His goal is world domination, and
he was, right?
Zaibatsu in all kinds of nefarious ways to achieve that. Assassinations, drug dealing, kidnappings. The guy acquires all kinds of assets to build his empire.
Know this.
He even abducts Russian scientist Dr. Boskanovich and forces him to work on some pretty weird shit. I don't know how or why.
He looks so young, god damn.
I only know that it was him and not his father. So he tells the Zaibatsu, I want you to poach as many animals as you can.
Is this where the kangaroos
wolves,
fucking come in?
Kangaroos.
Yeah?
I don't want just an army of people. I want an army of beasts.
What?
And so, through some mad science, Dr.
Yeah?
Bogdanovich creates the first transgenic military animal.
What the fuck is going on in this series,
a boxing
bro?
kangaroo that's
That boy
meant to
Roger ain't a
impose
series. No,
fear
I
in
wonder if
the
he died.
enemies of the Mishima Zaibatsu. I'd like to imagine that because
He looked kind of
Bogdanovich
wholesome.
was
He's a fluffy
hostage, that
boy,
maybe
right?
this was his way of messing with them. But even still, you don't get this far without supervision.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to take Kazuya seriously when his big plan to conquer the world is to sick boxing kangaroos against his enemies. But it gets even better. because
That's
the
fucking
second
true.
military animal would come from an extinct species.
Panda?
Using DNA pulled from fossilized insects, Bogdanovich then
do
applies
you
the
make?
experiment to a full-grown
Oh, it's a-
velociraptor.
oh.
The man
Huh?
literally brought back the dinosaurs just so he could slap
Damn.
one with boxing gloves. I mean, shit, man. You
Fair
think
enough.
resurrecting
You know, I
dinosaurs
respect
is a
it.
pretty sizable chunk of change, but hey, what do I know? Now, these two characters are very jokey inclusions, but believe it or not, their existence is critical. Just absolutely
It is, like, important to the law to, like, kill people,
to paving the
apparently.
way for the future.
Alright.
For Kazuya's animal poaching has caught the attention of the WWWC,
The
a
WWE was
wildlife
on funny
protection
shit.
agency of which
The
a certain
wildlife?
woman is a member. That woman being
Huh?
Jun Kazama.
Oh,
If
that's
you
his
have
wife,
any passing
right?
knowledge of Tekken lore, you know
Oh.
what that means. If Kazuya hadn't tried to create military kangaroos,
Yeah.
Jin Kazama would never have been
Yeah, that's
born.
crazy.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. In order to establish his dominance to the world, as well as eliminate his enemies,
Hmm.
Kazuya decides to sponsor the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2.
Okay,
It
so
attracts
there's
the
no
attention
second
of
one.
The exact same cast from the original.
Oh, and
as
Hayachi's
well
in
as a
it.
few new faces
Huh.
like the Hong Kong detective Lei Wulan, a
Lei Wulan,
Taekwondo
huh?
fighter named Beck, and a Muay Thai fighter named Bruce.
I don't think any
The
of them are
latter
in
a
Tekken 8,
bodyguard
no?
for Kazuya,
Interesting.
alongside Ganryu and Anna Williams. But hark! Be careful to anyone who dares enter this tournament, for
Why?
it is rumored that Kazuya has made a deal with the devil himself.
Ah, is where the devil thing comes in, right?
What I find interesting when you look at the promotional
boy
material
do
of
not
this
look
game
big at
is
all,
how
huh?
the roles are reversed. Whereas before,
Mm-hmm.
the entire cast was surrounding Kazuya, now they find themselves
Ah.
surrounding Heihachi. The hero
So who's
is
the
now
good guy?
villain, the villain is now the hero.
No,
How many
that
sequels
makes
managed to
it.
pull that off? It once again solidifies how fluid Tekken's morality
Okay,
is.
then again, right? I guess in the sense you're rooting for it, like as a fan, right? Like, sure, he wants to take over the world. I'm more or less thinking he threw his kid off a cliff, right? Would you like be like, hey, yeah? I mean, would you still root for him? Yeah. Different levels of bad guys. That makes sense.
Heihachi's not a good guy,
Yeah, around
but
there.
he might be better than Kazuya.
Okay.
Either way, a lot of the stakes seem much more personal this time around. Yoshimitsu wants to save Dr. Bogdanovich. Kuma wants revenge on Paul Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
King has become a drunk because his orphanage is going under, and only with the support of Armor King can he pick himself up. One of
Oh.
the Jack
Oh,
units
damn,
wants
so
to
he-
wield
it
emotion
really
and
just is a
identity
fucking
and
mask, huh?
actually saves a little
That's
girl
crazy.
named Jane from a war-torn battle.
Huh.
It vows to protect the little girl no matter what.
That's dope.
Michelle's mother has
Terminator.
been kidnapped by the Zaibatsu because of a certain medallion she has. A medallion that will serve a much bigger purpose in Tekken 3. And while she's dealing with
Foreshadowing.
that, she also has to be careful of Ganryu because the sumo wrestler has been madly in love with Michelle since meeting her in the last tournament.
That's funny.
Apparently, he begged
And what keeps
Kazuya
getting
to
rejected
rig the
too, huh?
game so that they would fight each other. Li Chaolan decides to side with his stepbrother Kazuya, although it's not because of brotherly love. Ultimately, he wants to sabotage his plans with the help of Wang Jinrei.
Huh?
And Heihachi, well, the man has a lot of pride. He has
Yeah.
spent the last 2 years training like a beast.
Oh, so he's
knowing
oh,
that
so
his
Kazuya
son
don't know me
has
live,
finally
right?
lived up to the Mishima name.
That's dope.
He will not take him lightly this time.
Ah,
The stage is set. The King of Iron
that's
Fist
cool.
Tournament
I like the
2
way it's
begins.
playing out.
So right off the bat,
Well, it's kinda
Paul
cool.
defeats Kuma again. Heihachi
Damn,
faces off
Kuma
with
lost
Li
again?
Chaolan and puts him in his place. He tells his adopted son that when I get the Zaibatsu back, your ass is out.
Ah,
Michelle
damn,
defeats
fully.
Ganryu, telling the guy, sorry, buddy, I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
She also gets her mother back, as well as the medallion.
That's fire.
Lei Wulan faces off with Bruce and emerges victorious. Lei found information connecting Bruce to the death of his old partner, but when he tries to pursue him after the tournament, Bruce's getaway plane crashes and supposedly
he
dies.
supposedly.
Tina Williams enters the tournament to assassinate Kazuya, and whether she got defeated by him or by Anna, it's not very clear. The point is that she suffers defeat, and Kazuya, being the absolute shithead that he is, forces her into a cryosleep chamber.
Oh, she wakes up later, I bet.
Yeah. To forever be a human test subject.
Damn.
It's at this point that Anna realizes that she doesn't want to live in a world without Nina, and so she asks to be put in cryosleep as well.
As well.
Kazuya's just like, all right, whatever. I don't care.
Right.
The Williams sisters together forever.
Okay, so they'll probably come back later, right?
Research is gonna happen.
That's kind of cool. Even though they fucking argue a lot.
Because Yoshimitsu accomplishes his mission when he boards a helicopter that the good doctor is on. He takes out the guards and makes off with the scientist, slowly
Yoshi, right?
With his artificial
nice man.
Arm. I'm popping, y'all. Meanwhile, Jack, one of Boskanovich's creations, is playing with the little girl Jane while something sinister happens overhead. A giant space cannon designed by a scientist named Dr. Abel aims specifically for the one Jack unit that's competing in the tournament. It fires off a giant laser that pierces Jack's neck and shuts the machine
That's so
down.
fucked. Okay,
Jane,
poor little girl.
traumatized over losing her friend, dedicates the rest of her life to studying robotics. Now, I don't know.
So she waited that long just to like rebuild Jack again? That's kind of like, that's weird, but fair enough. I give her credit.
How well June
W Jane.
the tournament. All I know is that she met with Kazuya, and she's not just a wildlife protector. She's not just a martial artist. There is something about the Kazama bloodline that allows them to feel the spirits and energy all around them. And when she meets Kazuya, she senses a sinister force, an evil aura that seems to be controlling his destiny. Almost like he's a good man, but there's some element that makes him do the evil that he does. And Kazuya, for whatever reason, is drawn to Jun. He finds her mysterious,
and he marries her. I know that.
Him very intriguing. The two get close, very close.
Does he actually love her though? That's what I'm wondering.
Tournament, the two have.
Oh, Jun look fine as hell on this one. God damn, man.
These two should absolutely hate each other, but you know what they say: opposites attract. This is a PS1 fighting game. There are no scenes to elaborate on. Unless Tekken 8 or the Netflix anime series want to explain how this happened, you just have to take my word that Jun and Kazuya hit it off.
Yeah.
Jun doesn't make much of an impact in the tournament. Hell, she doesn't even make it to the semifinals.
Oh.
No, that honor belongs to Heihachi and goddamn Paul Phoenix.
Yeah, because Paul keeps like you said, it was on par with
he got that
Kazuya,
close
right?
to winning, but this time around, a gigantic traffic accident clogged up the expressway, and Paul was unable to reach his match in time.
Damn, they're setting him up. Oh, poor boy.
Qualification. Paul, dude, this is why you show up early, man. Come on.
Yeah, Americans,
and
right?
So it ends
Crazy.
like it did before, with Heihachi and Kazuya.
Who wins this time? My money's on Kazuya again.
Discovers the evil force that Jun had sensed, because this is where players first get introduced to Devil Kazuya.
Huh.
He sheds his clothes to become a purple devil man who can fly around and shoot lasers out of his forehead. And this isn't the result of one of Boskanovich's experiments. This
He
is
looks so weird in
part
that.
of
He like fully
Kaz's
naked.
being that's been there since the very beginning. The devil gene. A strange mutation that allows him to transform into a completely different being. But he doesn't keep his consciousness, as the devil is its own person.
Okay, so it is. I was like wondering like if the devil had its own consciousness, or you just like get a power up. I guess it like really is like a Sukuna or like fucking Kurama type of thing in a way, right?
Of its own,
like Ichigo's hollow
form,
you know.
Ambitions compared to its host. The devil only exists to kill, to destroy, to cause all kinds of pain and suffering. It should also be mentioned that there's an angel in this game as well. Some kind of good side to Kazuya that acts as the final boss when you play as the devil. She only appears in Tekken 2, and aside from the tag
and she got whooped?
She never comes back or gets referred to
ever. Okay, fair enough.
But in case you were curious, Kazuya's good side is depicted as a blonde white woman. So hey.
That's crazy. I didn't even like realize that, but the fact they pointed it out, I'm like, alright, bro. Alright.
But none of this matters. Devil or no, laser beams or no, Heihachi Mishima is the strongest man in the world, and he will air juggle your ass. Even with the scary demonic power, Kazuya loses to his father. Heihachi regains the Mishima Zaibatsu and once again proves his dominance. And thus he aims to rectify a mistake he made over 23 years ago. he shouldn't have thrown Kazuya into a ravine.
Yeah.
Instead, he should have thrown him into a volcano.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he picks up
Oh,
Kaz's unconscious body
he actually
and chucks it into molten lava. Then he flies
These people really don't like their kids, huh? Like, damn. Oh, hey, fair enough though.
away
Valid.
by helicopter while the damn thing erupts in the background.
Valid.
Kazuya Mishima is dead.
Uh-huh.
Heihachi does
Supposedly.
not fuck around. With the devil taken care of and things returning to normal, the only trace of Kazuya left
It's Jun.
is his child.
Ah, Jin.
One that will be raised by Jun Kazama.
Okay, so wait. I really want to know how, like, Jin ends up hating Kazuya, because I don't fucking understand. I guess this is for learning.
Tekken 3 is a turning point for the series in many ways. On the gameplay side, this is when it started getting really good. Faster combat, more fluidity. It all feels drastically
Heihachi's
better
old as
than
hell
the
here.
two games that came before it. And everyone took
He got them
notice,
grays.
which is why Tekken 3 is often considered one of the greatest PlayStation games ever made. But in terms of lore, this game changed the tone, the visual style, and
Yoshimitsu's
even the
crazy
time
in these
frame.
games, huh?
Tekken 3 takes place 18 years
Okay, so it
after
is,
Tekken
right?
2,
Yeah.
where once Heihachi had black hair,
He is
now
gray.
has gray hair.
Yep.
Where once we followed Kazuya, we now follow his son.
Jin, huh?
New generation of fighters, a new era to unfold.
That's kind of fun.
A new energy had entered the franchise, and it has been intoxicating ever since. So the story kicks off in South America, where an
volcano?
ancient evil awakens from some ruins.
Yeah.
This evil is the god of fighting known as Ogre.
Ogre?
Its origins are shrouded
The
in
fuck?
mystery, with some
That
theorizing
ain't
that it was
Kazuya?
dropped on this planet by extraterrestrials. It speaks a weird language. It's a big muscular.
It looks like a
green
Street
man,
Fighter
and
character,
the only
though.
thing it
Huh.
lives for is absorbing chi of other fighters.
Mhm.
I don't know how martial artist energies
Looks like a
differ
pill
with
man.
powers,
Crazy.
but Ogre does.
JoJo,
And with the ability
that type
to
of thing.
sense this power, he travels all over the globe to battle. And this actually leads to casualties as Ogre finds King, the Mexican wrestler,
Did he kill him?
and actually kills him.
The fuck, my boy?
Did you think King in Tekken 7 was the same King in Tekken 1? No way, Jose.
Oh.
Ogre beats the Taekwondo fighter Beck so badly that the dude ends up in a coma until Tekken 5.
The hell?
Martial
And he becomes
artists from
king?
all over the world start disappearing, leading to Detective Lei Wulan to
Jesus.
open up a case for him.
That's crazy.
But by far, the biggest target of ogres is
Oh,
Jun
Jun.
Kazama.
Oh,
Ever
no,
since
poor
Tekken
Jun.
2, has
Damn.
been raising her son Jin in Yakushima, and she's trained him in martial arts. She's taught him good values, the importance of morality.
Okay, so we
But
chill.
now something's coming. Because Jun can sense evil energies, she warns Jin that if anything ever happens to her, he needs to seek out his grandfather, Heihachi. And sure enough, Ogre
Big
shows
Roger.
up, trashes the place.
That
and
dude actually looks like a whole ass
Jin
pillow man.
punches.
That's crazy.
When he comes to, both Ogre and his mother are gone.
What? So,
Aside from
oh,
the
Jun died.
non-canon tag games, Jun never comes back.
Oh, okay, so
Heihachi is intrigued.
that's crazy if Jun never comes, because that explains why it's so big that she comes back in 8, because everyone just thought she's dead, but she's not dead. I can't wait to play the story. That's gonna be so cool, though. Okay,
by
damn.
this ogre.
We are playing the story tomorrow. I've decided.
He's always heard of it, but now the beast has finally woken up. If he could capture Ogre, study his body, study his blood, perhaps Heihachi could unlock that strength for himself. And Jin, his grandson, a chip off the old block. He takes to Mishima-style karate very well, convincing Heihachi that he would make for the perfect bait to draw Ogre out. And naturally, Jin is fueled with hate, fueled with revenge, desperate to fight Ogre once more.
Yeah.
This would eventually lead to Heihachi starting the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3.
Oh,
But let's not get
all right,
ahead of
that makes
ourselves.
sense.
He still takes care of Jin and puts him in high school.
That's good then. So I guess he likes his
Mishima
grandson.
Polytechnic High School, to be exact, a facility that not only has framed pictures of Heihachi everywhere, but also
That's
a
fucking
giant golden
crazy.
statue so that the students can worship him like a god.
Well, never mind.
Again,
Every time I say something good about him, like, remind me.
because the guy is just so in love with himself.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who can win the King of Iron Fist is given a trophy that is modeled after his own head.
But his dad won the
Dude
first one,
literally
alright,
has a
whatever.
bowling
Or son.
alley in the Zaibatsu headquarters with these trophies as the bowling pins.
That's
I
crazy.
tell ya, I would love to have Heihachi as my grandpa.
Would you though?
As Jin goes to school with Ling Xiaoyu, a Chinese girl who's distantly related to Wang Jinrei. One day, she's
that his lover?
aboard a yacht belonging to the Mishima Zaibatsu, and despite being a teenager, she single-handedly kicks all of the guards' asses.
Damn, that's kind of fun.
He finds this so impressive and so amusing that he agrees to take her as a ward, enrolling her into his school.
That's fine.
And
Chilling
as a
fighting like
gesture of
that.
good faith,
But broke his
he
back?
also gives her a bodyguard. Panda!
Huh?
Specifically, a panda bear that knows Mishima-style karate.
Alright.
Why a panda
That's funny.
bear? There's gotta be better and easier ways to give Xiaoyu protection, you know? This is the second
That's
time
kind of
Heihachi
racial in a
raised
sense, you know?
bear.
But I don't know.
Actually,
Who fucking knows at this
sorry,
point,
I have
right?
to scratch that. With the time jump, the original Kuma passed away of natural causes.
Oh,
I know,
feels
that's
bad.
sad, right? But don't worry, because Kuma had a baby cub, and that bear is also named Kuma.
Damn.
Yeah, Heihachi isn't a very creative person.
I don't blame him, to be
realize
fair. I'll
that
probably leave him the
Kuma
same
is
thing.
the Japanese
I name him
word
Bear,
for
for all.
bear. Kuma may as well be exactly the same as his dad, down to the rivalry with Paul Phoenix. Although there is one difference.
He can win.
Love.
Oh, who with? Ain't no way, bro. Of all the things, then yeah. Eat lasagna in the shower? Huh? I'm gonna go back to the video. Is it actual cutscene? I mean, hey, you ass man like me, right? W.
Yes, Kuma is in love with Panda, who always rejects his advances. But I believe in him. One day he'll win her over. Besides being
bad does it
Xiaoyu's
go?
best friend, Panda is also her method of transportation. And this bear must have a rocket jet up her ass.
I guess it's a
because
7,
holy
right?
shit,
So the
Panda
graphics
runs
are so
about as
good
fast as Sonic
compared
the
to
Hedgehog.
Doubled.
I just can't with this series sometimes. Jin Kazama has done his fair share of fighting, though, and this earns him the rivalry of Hwarang. Hwarang is a Taekwondo fighter who served under Beck from Tekken 2.
Hwarang whooped my ass earlier.
Hospitalized because of Ogre,
was bad, man.
The kid's gotta let out his frustration somehow. He and Jin once battled each other to a draw, much like Kazuya and Paul before them. And you can bet that these two will be seeing more of each other as the series goes on. Eddie Gordo, one of the coolest characters ever. Tekken 3 was my introduction to capoeira. I had never seen anyone fight with dancing flair.
Oh,
before.
fucking
It was
Eddie,
just
bro.
So damn
I hate Eddie.
Eddie was
And I hate
in
Eddie
prison
Plus.
years ago for
Don't
the
worry about
murder
it.
of his father, a crime he didn't commit.
Oh,
While
okay, never
behind
mind. I
bars,
respect
he
him a
met
little more.
Capoeira master who agreed to teach Eddie everything he knew. Once he gets out of prison, he seeks out the Mishima Zaibatsu.
He kind of dribby with it though.
Find his father's killers. Brian Fury. Oh man,
Oh,
this guy's a
Brian.
nut job. Originally a corrupt police officer in Hong Kong, Brian was killed when he got involved in a shootout.
Wait, killed?
Dead, finito, deceased. That is until his
Oh, but he has a
body was
cyborg type of shit,
recovered
right?
By Dr. Abel,
Okay,
the creepy
yeah.
scientist that took out Jack. If Boskanovich is the Dr. Light, then Abel is the Dr. Wily. Always
Who the
feeling
hell? Who's Light and
underappreciated by
Wily? What?
comparison, he vows to create the ultimate bad science that nobody can deny.
Wouldn't that be?
So he
Cyborg?
resurrects Brian with a cyborg body, all in the hopes of perfecting an army of super soldiers. As
And
a
he's
cyborg,
withstand a tank
Brian
bullet.
Fury
That's
is
insane.
damn near invincible. Bullets bounce off the guy. He can shrug off artillery from a tank.
That's
The dude
crazy.
is now so strong, he can lift incredibly heavy objects and swing them around like it's Super Mario 64.
Damn. Oh, and he crazy.
Becoming a
Yeah.
cyborg was the greatest thing that ever happened to the guy, because what Brian enjoys most is fighting.
Hmm.
The thrill of battle, the satisfaction of killing.
That's cool.
When he
I like
wins
him.
a match in Tekken,
I like Brian
he actually
Blaze,
pummels
but I
the
hate
shit
Brian
out of
playing
his
them, you
downed
know.
opponents.
I respect him though.
This guy has no chill, and if you see him in a dark alleyway, you'd be wise to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
The universe of Tekken works in mysterious ways. Ever since Ogre awakened and went on a rampage, another being came to life as well.
Oh yeah, the little wood thing.
Mokujin is a 2,000-year-old training dummy whose entire motivation is to eliminate Ogre. This is a unique fighter in
Nice
that it
guy.
mimics every other fighting style in the game, switching out how it plays.
He has a
as it
sword?
goes around.
I never saw that
I
in my
wanna say
life,
that
huh?
Mokujin is
Kinda
just
cool,
a
though.
comic relief character because all of its endings are very strange. Like apparently Mokujin has a giant big-breasted wife who mistreats
Oh, that's
him
his
badly,
wife. I thought it was his
forcing
mama.
him on errands in a live-action forest.
That's fair.
Also, he loves playing Tekken 3, which is an arcade in this forest.
Damn, fair enough.
In one ending, he literally visits the Bandai
kind of fire.
Namco headquarters for a tour, flirting with all of the ladies who work there.
Huh?
All of this is canon, goddammit!
That's kind of crazy.
Rounding off the roster, there's a few returning characters, but also a lot of new generation types.
We'll never cut his hair, besides in like
we now have his
8.
son, Forest Law. Although, you know what's weird about that? From Tekken 4 onwards, Marshall returns to enter the tournaments, and Forest doesn't. They established that the son fights exactly like the dad.
The wooden dummy has a wife, yeah, apparently.
Yeah, you know what? We like the dad better.
Damn.
King's still in the game, but it's obviously a different person.
Yeah.
It's a boy who grew up in the original King's orphanage,
Oh.
mentored by Armor King to be his replacement.
Okay, so
Michelle
Armor
has
King's like
retired from
old,
fighting, but
huh?
she taught everything she knows to her adopted daughter, Julia. Julia's goal is to reforest her land when all of a sudden
You got
the
so many new
Mishima
characters
Zamasu
in
kidnapped
3 by the
Michelle
looks of it,
and the
huh?
medallion she recovered in Tekken 2.
That was the
Turns out
foreshadowing.
that this object that got Michelle's father killed apparently has the power to control Ogre.
I swear I've seen this guy
I'm
in
not
Street
sure
Fighter.
if Heihachi ever figured out
I'm
how
looking
to
that up.
use it. Remember Jane, the little girl that Jack saved? Well, after 18 years of learning robotics, she manages to install Jack's
Ogre is in
consciousness
Street
into a new
Fighter.
experimental body, thus
Huh.
creating Gun Jack.
Interesting.
The Williams sisters finally wake up from their
up,
cryo
Ned?
sleep. Apparently, they sensed Ogre's presence, and it jolted them awake.
That jolted them awake? That made the
Nina
pot
came
open?
out fine, but Nina emerges with amnesia.
Amnesia?
With her fighting and assassination skills, she doesn't remember anything about the person she used to be.
Well,
What
shit.
was the cryo machine's purpose anyway?
Damn.
The reason it was created in the first place was so that Dr. Boskanovich
Too many
could
kings,
find a
right? I'm gonna
solution
know
to
you.
eternal life. Something he was desperate to acquire after losing his daughter Alyssa to an unexpected illness.
Aw,
Keep that
feels
in
bad,
mind
man.
for the future. Yoshimitsu's looking to collect Ogre's blood to help with Boskanovich's deteriorating health, a plot point that is all but forgotten in Tekken 4 onwards.
Yoshimitsu looks so
And
strange
last
here.
but not least,
Well, it look
Paul
cooler
Phoenix is
in a
back
way.
At the ripe old age of 46, and he's looking to get the
46.
glory he could never attain. So yeah, folks, that's the roster.
Can we get a
Stage is
Nissel
set,
for
Heihachi announcing the
07s?
King of Iron Fist Tournament 3, and I guess Ogre's just gonna show up. See, I've always wondered how exactly
Oh, so he does.
this
He
whole
just
thing
chills.
works.
Either
The
there.
assumption is that the gathering of fighters will attract Ogre to them, but the final match also takes place in the temple that he came from.
Huh.
Is it empty? Is Ogre sleeping in there? Is the green monster man
Is he just not show
the
up?
results of the tournament, or does he coincidentally show up at the finals? I'd like to imagine that Heihachi used Michelle's medallion to control him, but it also
What
asks the
happened?
question of why have a fighting tournament at all. Maybe that Netflix
I don't
Tekken
get it.
series will help explain this a lot.
Yeah.
All you need to know is that it's a video game-ass video game, and Ogre's the final boss.
Okay, so he just shows up
First up,
randomly. That
Paul
makes
Phoenix
sense, though.
defeats
Whatever.
Kuma again.
Kuma keeps getting his ass
It's getting to
whooped.
be a broken
Damn.
record, but this is constantly established in Kuma's backstories. These bears just can't catch a break.
Damn.
Jin Kazama
One day
defeats
he'll
his
win.
rival Warang. To be honest, this isn't outright confirmed, but going by the wording of Warang's Tekken 4 prologue and his attitude in his non-canon ending,
Huh.
it just seems like they definitely battled each other.
Okay.
But of course, I could be wrong. At some point, Julia manages to rescue her mother Michelle, and Eddie Gordo discovers that the man who killed his father was none other than the late Kazuya Mishima.
Oh,
And at some
okay.
point, Dr. Abel activates his space cannon again.
So when's
in the
Kazuya come
hopes of
back?
Trying to kill Gun Jack like he did Jack 2. And this ending's kind of interesting. If you watch it as is in the Tekken 7 menus today, you're getting the bad ending. The ending where Abel nukes the area so badly that it kills both Gun Jack and Jane.
Damn, what? Jane is
Tekken
dead.
3
That's
gave
crazy.
Gun Jack 2 endings. Because
That's
if you
actually kind
beat
of
the
dark in a
story
way.
the second time,
Feels bad, man.
the same
Feels
ending
bad.
will play out, except this time around, Gunjack spawns a force field that
Oh,
protects the
so we
two of
can
them just
force field a
fine.
nuke. Alright.
I don't know what the logic was there, but someone behind Tekken 7 obviously didn't know this, as only the bad ending is viewable.
Unless they want that to be the canon
And,
ending,
that's
right?
about it. There's not much to go off of reading material from future games. The details of the tournament seem pretty ambiguous. But we definitely know how it
Tekken's
ends.
fun. You should play it.
The final battle takes place in the South American ruins. It's Ogre versus Paul Phoenix.
Paul Phoenix?
Yeah. Paul manages to hang in there until he comes face to face with the monster itself.
That makes zero
It's a
sense. Why
fierce fight
Paul?
between the two
And a
competitors,
Kazuya
but
social,
there's
right?
gonna
That's
be
how I'm
one
betting.
winner. And that winner
That'd be kind of odd.
was Paul Phoenix. I'm not kidding. That's actually the lore.
Damn.
Paul went undefeated through the entire King of Iron Fist
Oh,
tournament 3,
damn.
and even triumphed over Ogre.
The monster
I never
that
returned
killed
home?
King, that killed Jun, that put Beck in the hospital, the big bad of Tekken 3, taken
It makes
out
sense
by
because
the
he kept saying, well, Paul's on par with like Kazuya. So that makes sense. And if he still is, then even more sense, right?
an underdog. Incredible. Nowadays, Paul Phoenix finds himself as a bit of a comic relief character, always being put into silly situations.
Yeah, I mean, living his best
But in
life,
the
right?
90s, this dude consistently made it to the finals of every single tournament, being on equal terms with both Kazuya and Ogre.
That's cool, that's cool.
I love this aspect because sometimes it gets kind of boring seeing the same main characters take the crown. And Paul getting
Very
so
weird,
damn
though.
close when he has nothing to do with them, that's the chaos I live for.
Paul just living his best life
I have to
to this
burst the
day,
bubble and
young age of
explain why he
47.
didn't win the tournament. You see, Ogre actually has two forms.
Oh,
While
well,
Paul celebrated
we were
over being
clickbaited.
the first, he didn't stick around to actually see the beast transform.
Oh, okay, so he won in his
Thus,
way.
Ogre becomes true Ogre.
Uh-oh.
Gigantic winged snake armed
Yeah.
fire breathing.
Who fights him then? Jin?
That Jin Kazama takes.
Okay, yeah, Jin beats
Now,
him, bro.
Tekken 4 says that Paul was undefeated, so I have to wonder if he actually battled Heihachi and Jin, or if Ogre interfered before Paul could take Jin on.
Huh.
Either way, Jin gets the ultimate victory.
Yeah, W. Don't know if Jin could beat
Ogre
Paul.
disintegrates into goop, and Jin Kazama has avenged his mother. He has won the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3. Too bad he won't be allowed to enjoy the victory.
Okay, Heihachi's fucking crazy. He shot his grandson? Oh, he ordered a... Okay. Alright. Alright. Alright, bro.
Jesus Christ! Not only is Heihachi a shitty father, he's a shitty grandpa too.
Yeah.
With Ogre defeated, Jin is no longer any use to him. Just another blood relative getting ready to knock him off his perch.
That's insane.
Plus, this is Kazuya's son, which means there's a very good chance that this kid has some devilish tricks up
Yeah,
his sleeve.
yeah. So he has a devil power too then, huh? Oh! Such an old sound effect. So he becomes Devil Jin.
Oh!
And then he kills Heihachi? Damn. Whoops his ass,
I
huh?
love how Heihachi was thrown head first through a thick stone
Okay,
wall,
he's fine.
was spiked
Damn.
into the ground from a massive fall, and the dude just gets up like it's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, he was
Yeah,
thrown into a
Jin
something.
Kazama
A ravine.
definitely has the devil gene, and now he's on the run, not just from Heihachi, but also his dad.
What the? What did he do though? Alright, well, fair enough. Everyone hates their fucking bloodline. Right?
I personally love Tekken 4. I know it's the black sheep on a competitive level, but in terms of atmosphere and music and overall presentation, I always thought this game
Exactly.
was amazing.
Take all the
It was
mass
the
wins.
first entry to start having prologues before a character's story, and that saves me a world of research. Everything I told you about Tekkens 1 through 3 required me reading instruction manuals, strategy guides, and the wiki. Lots
The
of
wiki, then.
research to do, whereas now we've got definitive storytelling.
King.
God. So 2 years have passed since the defeat of Ogre. Jin Kazama has been
Maybe
hiding in
training.
Spain, Australia, where he's been unlearning Heihachi's teachings.
Oh.
Because Jin now loathes the Mishima bloodline and everything associated with
Damn.
it. Heihachi has been searching for him this whole entire time.
That's
You
crazy.
see, even though the Zaibatsu recovered Ogre's body, he can't actually use its power without one key ingredient.
Ah, the Devil Gene?
Devil Gene.
Yeah.
Without his grandson,
Mhm,
there's
mhm.
just nothing he can do. But one day, the Zaibatsu brings him brand new information about G Corporation, a biotech firm that deals in genetic research. It turns out that after the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2, they recovered Kazuya's body from
Oh.
the volcano. How did they know to find him in there? Was Heihachi just bragging to everyone he knew? Like, yeah, I threw my bitch-ass son in there. It was awesome. But if the
He
company
probably
has
did,
Kazuya's
knowing
body,
him.
that means
I wouldn't be
Heihachi can
surprised.
steal it and get the Devil Gene. So he sends in the Tekken Force, the Zaibatsu's
The Tekken
military
Force,
squad,
yeah.
to ransack the G Corporation building. They bust in, dispose of the scientists, steal all kinds of data like it's nothing. Until they don't. Because
Kazuya
all
wakes
of a
up?
sudden, one
Oh.
man single-handedly
Oh,
kicks their
well.
ass.
Yeah, your son's still alive. You wanna whoop your ass, huh? That's kind of fire. And that's full
Mad
cutscenes. That's dope.
Science rears its ugly head again because the G Corporation actually brought this fucker back from the dead. Not only that, but they also performed various experiments on Kazuya over the years, helping him discover a way to unify the devil gene.
Oh, so it's his now, huh?
The other persona and gain complete control.
Okay, now I'm kind of, yeah, I'm kind of rooting for Kazuya now.
Bad day for
What do we do?
Heihachi.
Does something
This
fuck the
presents an
Jin?
opportunity. Heihachi announces the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4, and instead of just getting a trophy, the winner will gain control of the Mishima Zaibatsu itself.
Oh.
Ah, damn. Kazuya
Why does he put that
definitely
much risk on it, though?
recognizes this for the trap that it is, but gladly participates anyway.
W
And
Kazuya.
Jin, upon hearing of both the tournament and his father's survival, also rushes in to eliminate his...
Does he know? He doesn't know about his son, though, right?
Certainly
Huh.
no love lost
Damn.
for his evil father. But yeah, Tekken 4's got a lot going on in this
Interesting.
story, with only 3 of the characters being new. Instead of having Eddie Gordo,
Dang,
we
who
have
that?
Christy Montero.
She's not
the
in 8
granddaughter of the
or 7.
Capoeira master who taught
She
Eddie
dying.
how to fight.
Calling it.
After Iron Fist 3, Eddie passed this knowledge on to her, making her gameplay damn near identical. When Eddie leaves to confront his father's killer, she chases after by entering the tournament. And then there's
Interesting.
Craig Marduk, a
Ooh.
Vale Tudo cage fighter.
Yeah, and he ain't in
This
the
guy
game
was
either.
on top of the mixed martial arts world.
Oh, he's a widow. Yeah. Yeah. You pervert.
Then one day
Yeah,
he got
confirmed.
caught in some kind of scandal, and with public shame comes bitterness and resentment. Marduk is an angry motherfucker.
Long as,
He takes what he wants, and no one will deny him.
Oh yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, so he like the ass, yeah, the asshole type of character. Kind of makes sense, right?
I always get what I want.
Oh, W Mets?
I'm sure he'll wait for Anna to wake up and politely ask again for consent. His attitude boils over one day at the bar when he picks a fight with someone and murders them.
Jesus.
This gets him sent to prison.
Wait,
He'd be serving a much
fair
longer
enough.
sentence if not for some mysterious benefactor. One who manages to pay off the judiciary and
Heihachi.
invite Marduk to Iron Fist
Somehow.
4. Who is this benefactor? It's King.
King?
For you see, the man that Marduk murdered was actually Armor King. Yes.
Oh.
Armor King is dead, and his apprentice wants revenge. He enters the tournament hell-bent on destroying his
Damn.
master's killer.
Well,
Steve
fair
Fox
enough.
is a young British boxer
Wait,
with a
but there's
weird
another
scar
Armored
on
King in
his arm.
7. Okay,
He was
who
adopted
knows?
as a kid and doesn't remember his childhood. One day, he refused to throw a fight for a mafia group known as the Syndicate. He flees to America, but eventually grows frustrated from all the subterfuge. Rather than live his life in fear, he chooses to join Iron Fist 4.
Okay, that makes
Naturally,
sense.
that puts him in the
There's a lot of fucking
spotlight,
fighters in
and
this
so
one,
the
and like
Syndicate
big
hires
boys,
an
if you will.
assassin to
Right?
murder the man at the tournament.
Power
That
scaling
assassin
crazy.
being
Who
Nina
this?
Williams,
Oh,
who
Nina.
still hasn't regained her memory.
Uh-huh.
But she'll have to watch out for Lei Wulan, whose new case involves bringing down the Syndicate. Li Chao
Everyone has a
Feng's
series. What's
evolution
Li
has
doing?
always been
Yeah.
fascinating to me. See, this guy was kicked out of the Zaibatsu for siding with Kazuya, a guy he really doesn't like.
Uh-huh.
And at first, he was kind of bitter about that, but then Lee decides to turn his life around.
How
He
though?
adopts a new persona, becoming Violet, the CEO of Violet Systems.
Ah,
This company creates
that's weird.
robots from housekeeping.
I mean, at least
to
he's rich
fighting
still,
machines.
right?
Lee
W?
believes them to be the future. And this move pays off because the guy ends up as a playboy billionaire living in a mansion in the Bahamas.
He has it pretty
Imagine
nice
the thing
though.
that
I
attracts
can't
all the
lie.
ladies is his gigantic cock. Holy moly! Even John
Ain't
Holmes
no
would be
way they
jealous
put
of
the
this
dick
guy.
print on it too.
I
That's kinda
swear to
crazy,
God,
Jesus.
I didn't edit that image.
That's crazy.
That is real.
Fair enough.
But I love the changing.
I get why girls like him, though.
Here. See, you'd expect him to be a rich fuckboy, the dickhead rival Heihachi always wanted him to be. But instead, Lee is really chill. He's
Okay.
always siding with the good guys. He's always being courteous and lovely. The guy has a catchphrase now.
Excellent.
Okay, I still don't like him though. Kind of a
Anyway,
dick,
he enters
you
the
know?
tournament to help demonstrate the capabilities of Combat, a machine he
Combat.
designed that can
I'm gonna call it
copy any
Combat.
fighting style. This thing is a playable character and operates exactly like Mokujin did. Paul Phoenix did defeat Ogre, but since he left before its final form, he was not recognized as the winner of the last tournament. Paul becomes bitter, despondent, and even hated as his fans get tired of his whining. The dude's dojo goes under, and he's basically living in the streets. He enters the tournament to once again prove the critics wrong.
Paul's so good though, damn.
And his buddy Martial Law isn't doing much better, as the guy's restaurant goes bankrupt competing with another restaurant chain.
Ain't no way.
And this basically becomes the guy's constant struggle. Every single tournament from this point onwards, Law is always desperately competing for cash.
Poor man, he's broke.
Kuma was not happy about losing to Paul Phoenix.
He's gonna lose again.
To get his animal instinct back, he needed to leave the cushy comfort of the Zaibatsu and return to the wilderness.
I'm surprised Heihachi loves a bear more than fucking
like him is supposed to
his own
have.
bloodline.
Brian Fury loves being a cyborg, but unfortunately, he has a very tiny lifespan. His body is deteriorating, and only Dr. Abel, who's now working for the Mishima Zaibatsu, can possibly save him.
So he has to go.
Enters the tournament to get closer to his creator. Julia invested money into G Corporation because they were the only company willing to help reforest her land.
Damn, everyone has like a goal in this one. I guess that's what makes it different in a sense, right?
Data
Interesting.
with them. She enters to get it back. And with that, the stage is set. It's a lot of setup, but this game has a lot of story. So first up, I have to assume that Paul Phoenix defeated Steve Fox. In Tekken 5, we get artwork depicting this, and there's no way that Paul could have lost. Steve might have faced off with Nina beforehand, but there's no real evidence to say that.
Well, mystery,
now it's time for another crazy reveal. Lei Wulon comes to Steve with information that he found in the Zaibatsu's mainframe. And this is bombshell stuff. Basically, Heihachi was trying to absorb Ogre's power, but he had to do a lot of experimenting to get results.
Yeah.
And what makes better test subjects than children?
Oh my god, that's fucking crazy.
Oh, no. Instead, he takes advantage of the cryo chambers he's come back to and impregnates Nina Williams through in vitro fertilization.
Excuse me? He did what? I'm not surprised anymore.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy though.
Steve is Nina's lab baby.
Oh.
And the kid was experimented on by creepo doctors like some kind of horror show.
Oh,
and you know, when you remember that Anna was also in cryosleep,
that's something.
It really makes you wonder if she's
That'd be
got a
something.
kid out there too. Good lord.
Eeks.
When the Syndicate briefs Nina on her target, she finds this surprising and decides to give up on the mission. But she's not exactly broken up over this. She doesn't try to talk to Steve. Hell, she willingly works with Heihachi later, reinforcing her cold, detached nature. To her, it's just business.
Business.
Personal. Afterwards, Lei Wulon would take down the Syndicate.
That's fucking crazy.
King faces off with Marduk and absolutely destroys him. But it's still not enough. King follows Marduk into the hospital where he plans to end his life.
King got long ass in,
But as he's about to deliver the killing blow, he notices the cage fighter's belongings on the table.
You got a family?
Seeing that photo of Marduk's family made King realize that if he were to go through with this, he would be no better.
Damn, poor King, bro.
Scene, as long as you can take the Jaguar part seriously. Now,
King
Brian
a good guy,
Fury
though.
ends up meeting with Dr. Abel, but unfortunately for the bad doctor, his ass gets punched so hard that his body makes a giant crack in the wall. Considering Brian's entire motivation for entering this tournament was to extend his lifespan, I'm not really sure why he did this. Brian loves being a cyborg. The guy would be dead otherwise, so what gives? Brian falls unconscious after this punch, but Yoshimitsu, oh yeah, Yoshi's in this game.
Oh, he looked cool as hell in this one, huh?
He takes Brian to the Manji clan's headquarters, where the good Dr. Boscanovich
it's a good one,
that
though.
he will absolutely help. Well, ain't that nice of him? I wonder how Brian will repay the favor.
Punching him?
But it should be mentioned that Dr. Abel never comes back. He's not in Tekken 5, not in Tekken 6, and when he does get a mention in Tekken 7, it's in the past tense, referring to the late
he dead.
Legacy.
Dead as hell.
He's absolutely dead, so I have to make a
one shot. Insane.
Aside from winning the tournament, Brian's ending is absolutely canon, so there's no reason to assume that he didn't destroy Abel. Kinda surprising. I figured they would have kept that character around.
That's crazy.
For the fourth time in a row, Paul Phoenix faces off with Kuma.
Who wins?
Technically the second, but you know what I mean.
Who wins?
But
Kuma?
wallowing in misery can't compare to training in the wilderness. Kuma does what his father
couldn't
and defeats
he actually beat him.
Phoenix.
That would be first time.
Last, right? I guess he's not
Yeah.
that much of a joke
Yeah.
character if he can beat the man who beat Ogre.
One instant and Kuma floored
Lee
him.
ends up
Jesus.
facing off with Kazuya, but the Playboy is still no match for his stepbrother. He and Combat both suffer defeat.
Damn.
With victory over Lee,
Nice one,
Kaz is all
Kazuya.
set to face off with his son.
Oh, who wins this though?
But unfortunately, the kid doesn't show up and ends up disqualified from the tournament. And that's because Heihachi sicked the Tekken Force on
Oh,
him,
wow.
where they proceed to drug and capture the lad.
Bro!
Thus, the final
Alright.
battle is a three-peat, as it's once again between Kazuya and Heihachi.
I think Kazuya probably wins
Interesting
this,
thing
right?
About this encounter, when you play as any of the non-Mishimas, Heihachi is typically the final boss.
Hmm.
Now, when he's facing off with Kazuya, he wears his traditional black gi, but with anyone else, he always enters the arena
What
in
the
a fundoshi.
fuck?
After all,
Huh?
Heihachi is a warrior's warrior.
Fair
He doesn't
enough.
want any
I want-
tricks.
I want-
He doesn't
I want
need
hack it.
assistance.
Yeah.
He wants to fight completely
I can't
naked.
be that
The only
bad.
problem is
Yeah.
that it's
Something.
incredibly revealing. Heihachi's bare ass is staring the player right in the face. Look at that thing. The string is riding right up his ass crack. I can practically see his taint. I don't mean to be
Yeah,
disrespectful
that's
to
one way to
Japanese
put it. I
culture,
don't think I would
but
put it in a
good
better
lord,
way, huh?
Am I a gamer or a proctologist?
Proctologist, huh?
So after a tough bout, believe it or not, Heihachi once again defeats Kazuya.
What?
I know, right? After that amazing
And
opening,
Devil
after
Kazuya?
all those years of wanting revenge, and the old man still pulls it off.
Huh, that's fire.
Heihachi is the official winner of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. But
Damn.
the old man's not done, and he tells Kaz that he can lead him to Jin. So the two travel deep into the Zaibatsu compound to a temple in the forest.
What
known as
happened, though?
Hanmaru. There, Kazuya finds Jin tied up in chains, which couldn't be more perfect.
Oh no. Wait, so why does he hate his
The
son?
devil takes over Kazuya once again and
Oh.
explains that when Jun and Kaz got together,
Oh.
a part of himself went away into the body of Jin.
That makes
Hence why
sense.
he has the devil gene. But now's the time to take that power back. Or so the devil thinks. Because the 20 years of research that Kazuya has done has
Yeah.
helped teach him
Yeah.
how to unify
He can
his
restrain it.
power.
I would hope
By
so, at
from
least.
within,
So I guess he has no
Kazuya
reason to hate his
uses the
son?
devil persona completely, incorporating it into his own being.
And that's why he has the red
There's
eye, I
no
guess,
devil
right?
Anymore, only Kazuya. Ah, sweet. He's a good guy
That's cool.
now, right?
Oh no.
Oh, don't be
Oh,
silly.
no.
Kaz may be in control, but he still wants the same thing. The power to conquer the world.
Wait, so I don't fucking get it. So Jin's so valid in
So
all of
Jin
this,
and
right?
Kazuya battle each other for the first time ever. A devil gene clash between father and son.
Huh.
And in the end, Jin Kazama proves his strength
Ah,
by
damn.
beating his old man.
That's fire.
But that's when Heihachi takes advantage and picks a fight too. But this kid is so damn talented.
And he beats both?
Exposes both of the Misha.
Hey,
at
W,
the
man.
same
All right.
time. The chance to rid the world of this menace is finally here.
Oh. Oh. He sees his mom. Ah, damn. Distracted. But he doesn't kill him. Huh. Spares him. Jin is such a good boy. Damn. W
Jin
Protag.
flies away from Hanmaru, leaving his vengeance behind. His father, his grandfather, they get to live for another day.
Yeah.
Well, at least one of them does.
Oh. Wait, who died? Tekken 5, huh? Oh, so oh wow.
Immediately after
That's
Jin
crazy.
leaves, the temple gets bombarded by jack robots belonging to the G Corporation.
Yeah.
The company has betrayed Kazuya and is now looking to dispose of him as well as Heihachi.
That's crazy. Oh, they're both fighting together now, huh? Bro,
Temporary team.
I love how they're fighting. Like they're not fighting anymore. It's like, yeah, but my son? Yeah, fuck my son. Oh, Tekken.
Let's
Jesus.
fucking go! The
don't
opening to
fucking get
Tekken
it
5
anymore.
is one of the greatest that's ever existed. Just Kaz and Heihachi kicking all kinds of robot ass as the most badass tag team ever. For a while, anyway. Dick move, Kazuya. Dude makes his getaway as the jacks pile on.
What the nani? Oh, and then he dies. Oh wow, Raven. Is he, you know? Is he? As a Raven's introduction, that's kind of cool. Huh.
Ugh, that's so badass. But yeah, folks, Heihachi Mishima is dead.
Yeah.
Super dead. Never coming back. Unless you immediately start playing as either Kazuya or Raven in this game.
Huh?
You'll be watching the cutscenes and, oh, never mind. There he is.
Wait.
Heihachi is playable in Tekken 5, so the whole getting killed thing is kind of meaningless. So, like, the Jack's
Heroes never die. That's crazy.
Heihachi gets blasted from the site, just launched across the entire forest, eventually landing in a grave in a nearby cemetery.
Huh.
He penetrates the dirt and just lies there, and lies there, and lies there. And
Damn.
2 months later, Heihachi finally wakes up. Completely fine, ready to bust
He was in a
some
coma, huh?
heads. The man is unkillable.
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy was literally buried under dirt for months, and he didn't need to eat food or anything.
Damn.
I think he might secretly be a Kryptonian. But yeah,
Dark Resurrection,
interesting thing about Tekken 5. According to Tekken 6, Heihachi only woke up after Tekken 5. His entire existence is non-canon because he was never there.
Okay. So anything that happened in 5, it
Because
just
he
didn't
missed
happen.
out on a family reunion. For you see, the Hanmaru Temple's explosion didn't just send Heihachi and Kazuya away, it also woke someone up. The dead man that was chained up in the basement.
Who?
Jinpachi
His dad?
Mishima. Heihachi's dad is here, back from the dead.
What?
I alluded to this earlier, but
Alright,
yes,
well, fair enough.
Heihachi killed his father and stole the Mishima Zaibatsu.
What?
from
Why
him.
does everyone
But
hate
it
that?
wasn't a
Ugh, I don't
quick
get it,
thing.
bro. I
He
don't
didn't
get
just
it.
shoot him or throw him into a volcano. Instead, he chained him up in Hanmaru and made him lift a giant boulder until he eventually starved to death. Seems like an especially horrible way to die.
But he didn't. He
Bad
didn't
father,
die.
Bad grandpa.
Yeah.
Terrible child. Good lord.
Yeah.
So Jinpachi was dead until some thing took
Devil.
over his body
Huh.
and resurrected him. It's not the devil gene. It's just some evil force that's never really elaborated on.
Okay, fair
Seriously,
enough.
Beyond
Love a
Lake
devil.
Milan's ending, no one talks about what's happened to him. Even the Tekken wiki is just like, it's a demonic force. Of
It's
unknown
demonic force. Alright.
So,
Someone
yeah.
else caught it.
The idea is that this demon force is slowly taking over his body, and when it gains full control, it's going to destroy
wonder how he
the
dies then,
world.
huh?
So using his last
That's
ounce
interesting.
of humanity, Jinpachi takes control of the Mishima Zaibatsu. And 2 months later, he announces the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5.
Yeah.
Because why call the military? Why kill yourself? Just get a bunch of martial artists to take you out.
Oh, so that's a
Dumb,
7
dumb,
cutscene. Yeah, I guess
dumb
season
plot,
7, huh?
but hey, that's the setup for Tekken 5. Once again, the prize is the Zaibatsu itself, which intrigues Jin Kazama, who is now suffering nightmares that trigger his devil gene.
Oh.
His alter ego is too dangerous, and Jin can't hold it off forever.
Yeah, he definitely can't control
enters
that.
the tournament to find
Poor Jen,
solution.
bro. Free my boy.
We got another
He's
batch
trying to
of
live-
movies to talk
live in
about,
peace.
one of which you've already seen. Raven. There's not much to say
Raven.
about him.
Raven's
He's a
cool.
special operatives agent
I can't play him for
working
shit,
a
though.
shadowy
I wish I could.
organization. He's entered the tournament to collect information.
Mm-hmm.
Nondescript, non-specific information. He is but one of many Ravens that all serve under one leader, the aptly named Master Raven.
Oh, yeah. I don't,
All you
never
need to
played
know
this out,
about
though. She
Raven
looked
is
fire.
that he's so cool he can stand on top of a fighter jet while it's flying at full speed.
I guess everyone really is
Hell,
fucking low
he
on
can
Tekken.
stand
Like, who's in the game.
underneath One. Those
Oh.
are some magnetic boots, man. Next up is Feng Wei, a Chinese Kempo fighter who wants
Oh,
to be the
Feng,
strongest
yeah.
man in the world.
Whooping my ass
After
all the
getting
time.
into fights outside of his training, he gets scolded by his master.
Oh.
Naturally, Feng took that as an insult
Oh.
and murdered the man. He then spends his time seeking out a scroll.
So what I'm understanding within Tekken is either don't have kids, don't have apprentices, or just don't have anyone under you because they will fuck you in the ass. And it happens all the time.
known as
Like,
the
good
Secrets
track
of
record off it.
Darkness, something he believes will give him ultimate power.
Hmm.
He attacks every dojo he comes across looking for the thing until it becomes clear that it's in the clutches of the Mishima Zaibatsu.
Don't trust anyone,
He
yeah.
enters the tournament to retrieve it. But his dojo attacks spur another competitor, and her name is Asuka Kazama. I want
Kazama?
to repeat that. Asuka
Huh.
Kazama. This girl is a distant relative of Jun Kazama and the cousin of Jin Kazama.
Oh,
I
wow.
have no idea how big the Kazama family
That's wild.
is, but it's clearly far from gone. After Feng
That's
Wei
crazy.
attacks her family's dojo, the girl rushes into the tournament to get revenge.
Damn.
She apparently doesn't know that Jin is related to her, so I guess Jun didn't talk with the rest of her family.
Ah, okay.
Next up is Lily de
Oh, Lily.
Rochefort,
Her
the
introduction.
daughter of a
One of my good friends
wealthy
plays Lily.
tycoon. One day, she got abducted by criminals who wanted to ransom her for money. But Lily didn't go without a fight, and she managed to beat the crap out of her captor.
Ow.
The thrill of combat was intoxicating, so from that point onwards, she spent her time learning martial arts in secret so as not to upset
That's
her
fair.
troubled father. One day, she gets into a fight and defeats Forrest Law. And
Oh,
that's when
wow.
he hands her the invitation to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5.
W.
She
Lily.
figures what could be better for her daddy than to obtain the Mishima Zaibatsu.
Damn.
You remember Roger, the boxing kangaroo?
Yeah, son.
Turns out that he found a wife and the two had a baby.
Well, W. Roger.
Roger Jr.
Oh.
And everything was going hunky-dory until strangers came and kidnapped the guy. So Roger Jr., inside the pouch of his mother...
Oh,
enters
I've
the
seen that
tournament to
character.
save
That's
his
cute.
father. But let's be honest, his mom is doing all the legwork.
Yeah.
I guess she was genetically altered by Dr. Boskanovich too. And also, isn't it kind of dangerous to keep your child on your person when
Yeah.
you get into fist
Yeah.
fights with some of the deadliest warriors known to man?
You know what?
Your child could get fucking killed
Animals.
out there.
Which would it?
Bad kangaroo. Bad. Xiao Yu managed to find out the Mishima history after Iron Fist 4, and she feels really sad that Heihachi died. If only he hadn't thrown his son into a ravine. And
Yeah?
then all of a sudden, she meets a scientist who knows how to build a time machine. What?
Wait.
Who is this guy?
Wanna
How
fuck
did
up
Xiao Yu
everything, though?
find him? Where the fuck do you learn to build something like that? Don't worry, Tekken doesn't get so crazy that characters travel back
Yeah,
in time.
I would hope not.
At least, not yet.
Oh,
King may have
no.
been satisfied
Oh,
with
'cause he's in
defeating
SoCal,
Marduk,
right?
But the guy was undefeated and he doesn't take his loss very well. The dude literally steals the late Armor King's Jaguar mask and demands a rematch.
Oh.
King can't let this disrespect stand.
That's
so
fine.
He accepts the challenge. Remember how Dr. Boskanovich was going to save Brian Fury?
What
Well,
happened
he
now?
does. He gives the
Brian
guy
kills
a
him?
perpetual generator, and now he can live a
Brian's
long
gonna kill
life
him.
again.
Yeah.
Brian
Brian.
thanks the doctor
Brian's gonna kill him.
by going ape shit and destroying the Manji clan's laboratory.
Huh?
He kills tons of people in the process, forcing Yoshimitsu to chase him into the tournament for retribution. After Lei Wulon disbanded the syndicate, Nina found herself out of a job. Lost, she decides to confide in the woman who claims to be her sister.
Uh-huh.
She calls up Anna for a meeting,
I don't get it.
but as soon as she sees
Wild.
her again, the memories come flooding back. Nina remembers everything, including how the Zaibatsu defeated her. Instantly, Nina starts trying to kill Anna, and the two battle for literal days.
Damn.
That's a lot
I'll
of
be cheesing that
stamina.
too. That's crazy.
Eventually, the two get exhausted and agree to settle things at the tournament.
That bitch.
After Christy's
That
grandfather
bitch.
finally gets out from prison, she and Eddie find that he's incredibly sick. It's
Oh,
after
no.
talking to a doctor
needs
that
money.
he discovered he's terminally ill. Lacking the money needed to save his life, the only hope these
Damn,
two
everyone has
have-
like pretty good reasons for going here. You would want
That's
anyone to
because
win,
he was
right?
defeated during
They feel
Iron
bad.
Fist 2,
Feels bad.
Ryu retired from sumo wrestling, but he still liked to keep track of Zaibatsu events, and that's how he comes across Julia Chang. Reminder, this guy was madly in love with Michelle, and now he's become infatuated with her daughter at the ripe old age of 55. Since Julia's still seeking G
What?
Corporation's reforestation data,
Everyone is
Ganryu
weird.
figures retrieving it himself would be the key to winning her heart.
That is
But
fucking
he's not
insane.
the oldest competitor returning, because Jinpachi sent his best friend Wang Jinrei a letter inviting him to compete as well.
He bet
And
her.
let's see, at this point in the story, Wang would be 105 years old?
Yeah.
The dude was 82 back in Tekken 1? His bones must be as stable as graham crackers at this point.
I guess he was strong though,
Hey,
right?
maybe he'll surprise me. And on that note, let's talk about the tournament. So first
Nice.
up, Jin
It's on
Kazama
here.
defeats Wang Jinrei.
Yeah, full tilt.
Okay,
Makes
never
sense,
mind.
yeah.
This is arguably disappointing because the thing we know most about Wang's backstory is that he was best friends with Jinpachi Mishima.
Oh.
The two have an incredibly close bond. If anyone deserved to take him down, it was Jinrei.
Oh,
But
feels
according
bad.
to Tekken 6, he didn't even get
Jibachi
to
good
see
dude
the
though?
guy. Canon can often be anticlimactic. King and Marduk battle for the second
King,
time
please
in a
win.
row, and once again, King emerges
That's my boy.
victorious.
See, that's why I love
Though
King.
This outcome changes things forever. Like an echo of the past, Marduk realizes that King is the real deal.
Yes,
Rather than
thank
holding a
you.
grudge, He chooses to be his ally.
W. See, King just brings everyone together. That's my boy. Jaguar Mans.
All that bad blood gone forever. Nina faces off with Anna and gains the victory.
That didn't satisfy me.
Which King? The new King. This King. The legacy of King. Oh, damn. Oh, well.
Phoenix enters the tournament with new determination.
Oh, who wins?
Kuma. And of course, because someone fucking hates Paul, he finds himself battling Kuma yet again.
Oh, who wins though?
This time, Paul squeaks out a victory.
Oh, nice.
But he is so exhausted from the encounter that he bows out of the tournament.
Oh, wow.
Yoshimitsu
he got his win though. I guess that's what he wanted.
The win. Afterwards, the cyborg makes his escape, living to fight another day.
Brian's kind of a cunt,
meets
huh?
with Lily for the first time and defeats her. But this would be the worst mistake of her life because she's made a lifetime rival for doing so.
Oh, poor Lily.
Forever obsessed with wanting to one-up the young Kazama.
Oh.
And that's all I got to say about Asuka because the girl never ends up crossing paths with Feng Wei, the guy she wanted to fight.
Huh.
She also never interacts with her cousin Jin, thus wasting a lot of potential the character had.
Oh, damn. So that is a
Feng
scrap the
doesn't win
story.
the tournament, eventually he just breaks into the Mishima Zaibatsu's vault and steals the scroll he was looking for. And instead of gaining ultimate power, he instead finds words of wisdom.
What?
He who destroys all other fighting styles and makes them his own shall become a warrior superior to all.
The Dragon God?
Oh, golly, thanks for that.
Golly, yeah, for
That's the equivalent of saying, if you want to master something, you should practice at it until you get good. Riveting.
Skill issue, he said.
Feng takes this advice, and his story hasn't budged since.
Oh.
Jin faces off with his rival Warang, who was recently.
So, I mean, the cool thing about this is that he'll probably end up explaining 7 too. And when he does that, that means a lot of the plot lines I'm gonna know. So if they do get finished, it'll be cool to see like in a Tekken 8 if they're finished. Whenever I play that, but probably tomorrow. But yeah.
Back after he finally woke up from his coma, and taking the new advice that Beck put onto him, Warang gives it his all in the fight, and he actually wins. Yes, he defeats the badass hero of the last 2 games, putting him down and knocking him out.
I don't get that. Why did I do that?
This is what I like to see. The Mishimas aren't so invincible. But while he lies unconscious, something else.
Devil Jin. Yeah.
Devil Jin. The devil form rises up, catching Warang off guard, and just brutalizes the guy. Fucks him up good to the point that he has to be sent to the hospital in critical condition.
Jesus!
The judges have no reason to deny it, so Jin ultimately wins the fight and thus advances to the finals. Devil Jin is an actual character in the games. He is a separate fighter from Jin who uses the Mishima combat style that was in Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag. Because a lot of people didn't like that Jin fought so differently in Tekken 4. Also,
that makes sense.
The quota that every fighting game ever has to meet, where the hero of the story has some dark alter ego that is actually playable. Revenant Liu Kang, Evil Ryu. It's just a thing. I don't know.
Evil Ryu is always fucking actually cool.
Ryu doesn't win the tournament, but he does sneak into the Mishima Zaibatsu labs and actually finds Julia's reforestation data. He meets with her to deliver the goods.
Oh my god, this guy's crazy.
Dude, you just had to put the data disk on your sweaty, smelly dick, didn't you?
Yeah.
Good God.
I can't thank you enough.
Oh, they're gonna get together now?
I'll be able to bring back the force.
This would be so fucking stupid. Oh, and she gone. That's crazy.
Oh, gone, Ryu. He did a great thing for the wrong reason.
Damn.
Don't think she'll be interested anytime soon.
Can't trust him.
However, this is a great day for Julia because getting that research back allows her to actually grow a little seedling, thus making it possible to reforest her land.
That's good.
The thing she's always wanted, now back on track.
Aww.
In another laboratory, one abandoned by Dr. Boskanovich, Roger Jr. goes looking for any kind of trace of his dad.
Oh yeah, is his dad dead?
And well...
Oh my god, he just chilling. Damn, he do be chilling. His dad has been fucking... Wow. Yeah, he said get your ass home. Crazy. I guess he really did be a comedy relief character.
Yeah, Roger is a terrible father and husband. He wasn't abducted at all.
Wow.
He's enjoying a life of luxury and cheating on his wife. He's been smooching all kinds of
What?
lady kangaroos while his family was struggling financially.
Oh.
What a dick!
Damn.
What I find amusing about
Damn.
this is that Roger Jr. ends up
Every
running
dad
into
bad in
Alex,
this.
Roger's dinosaur rival. After kicking his ass in a very comical way, he brings the guy into his home where Alex hits it off with Roger's wife. The dinosaur
Wow.
is now a beloved
Damn.
figure within the kangaroo family.
By a
All while
velociraptor?
Roger
That's
realizes
crazy.
what a
He said, I'm fucking your wife
terrible
now.
mistake he's made.
Damn.
Aw. The fact that this goofy shit is canon warms my cold, dead heart.
Yeah.
What else happens? Well, Kazuya does participate in the tournament, but he doesn't seem to stick around for long. Eventually, he runs into one of his old bodyguards, the returning Bruce Irvin, who's alive and well.
Huh.
And then the two just leave. Kazuya
The
may
planning's
have
done,
lost
probably.
Jin, but they never say that's what's happened. And even in Jin's story mode, there's never a mandatory battle between the two.
Interesting.
The only thing Tekken 6 and 7 likes to say is that Kazuya eventually gets revenge on the corporate bigwigs.
Huh.
There is more to it than that, but first, I gotta cover the finale. Jin Kazama is once again unstoppable.
Oh, Jinpachi.
Face to face with the great grandfather he's never met before. And the old man isn't just a master martial artist, he's also grown a goddamn demon mouth on his stomach that shoots
Sakuna.
unblockable
Oh, damn.
fireballs.
So Jin's the only good guy by the sounds of it, right? He's just doing his thing. At least that's what I would say, unless Jin does some
In
fuck
the
shit
middle of a
later.
whirlwind tornado, Jin battles his great granddad with everything he's got. And once again, the young Kazama ekes out a victory, destroying Jinpachi for good.
That's good. He just dies. W. You love to see it, huh?
But this
You love
presents
to
an
see it.
interesting ending to Tekken 5. Instead of running off as Devil Jin, he stays put and inherits the Mishima Zaibatsu.
Oh.
All those Yakuza, the Tekken...
Damn, W Jin, huh?
Conglomerate. It all
Oh,
belongs
Kazuya's
to
gonna
this
come fuck it up in the
noble
next one, huh?
member of the Mishima family. And it makes you wonder, now that Jin has all of this power, what's he gonna do with it?
Oh no, Jin, please. Please. Can there be one good fucking kid in this bloodline? I beg you. Damn, this is the fire-ass soundtrack.
So the story begins with Jin Kazama starting World War III.
What?
Oh yes, I'm serious.
What?
The first thing that Jin does when he gains control is start claiming oil refineries, space stations, anything that can give the Zaibatsu power.
That's
He expands
fucking
the
crazy.
military and sends the Tekken Force to every
That's
corner
actually
of the
fucking
planet
insane.
just to tear shit up and conquer everything. And there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. He just attacks civilians because he can.
So there's just no good
The
child in
Mishima
this game,
Zaibatsu is
like
so
at all,
strong and has
ever.
so much power
You hate to
that
see
they
it.
somehow managed to conquer the United Nations. I'm no geopolitical expert, but
Huh.
that sounds fucking impossible.
Huh.
The governments of the world all just sit there, impotent to combat this threat. But one giant organization is leading the charge, forming the biggest resistance to the Zaibatsu's evil. And that organization is G Corporation. See, after killing all of the executives that betrayed him, Kazuya became the new CEO of the company.
I'm alive. Hi,
I
Len.
thought it was just a small biotech firm.
How much attack and law? Yeah, I mean, the law's kind of fucked up. It's a long ass video, but I've learned if you live in this universe, don't have kids. Yeah. That's what I've learned. Just don't have kids.
But apparently,
That's the main
it's
thing.
expanded quite a bit.
Bro,
Now
me off a
Japan
cliff,
has
damn.
its own private military with thousands of soldiers and tanks. It's the face of multimedia entertainment, sponsoring such J-pop idols as Lucky Chloe.
Oh, that's where Chloe gets introduced. Chloe ain't
Who, of
innate
course,
though, huh?
is a martial artist and playable character. The G Corporation is using its mad
Oh, I guess a lot of people coming into this one, huh?
roided out Hulk men who scream like fucking monsters. And even if they didn't have those, they still have the Jack units because Jane is developing them for the company. And why
The characters
not?
in this
They're
are
the
too
only ones
weird.
taking the
That's all
fight
I can
to
say.
evil Dictator Jin Kazama.
Huh.
Seriously, as far as the public is concerned, Kazuya is nothing but a saint, a hero who's trying
A
to save
saint?
the world. If they only knew. Kazuya's offered a substantial bounty to anyone who can bring him Jin Kazama's head. And
What?
as a response to this, the Zaibatsu leader decides to announce the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6.
Really?
Which I'm not really sure if now's the time for martial artists.
World
to be
War 3,
competing
and
in
we're gonna do
test
another King of Iron Fist
strength.
tournament.
But I gotta take a second to acknowledge how the narrative changed from this point onwards. It's the first high-definition Tekken game, the first one to have online play. And it's also the first one to have a proper story mode. Previously, these games have only been experienced one character at a time, fighting 8 or 9 matches and taking any cutscene you can get. But Tekken 6 has
Laws. I know Laws' introduction, but I wonder how he gets played.
Two new characters.
Introduced.
Lars Alexanderson and Alyssa Boscovich.
Because he has electrics.
The story
Mishima
follows him the entire way through as you battle in over 38 stages, each filled with dozens of goons and special bosses.
Interesting.
It's completely canon, its events referenced in Tekken 7. Which is fine, but the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 goes completely ignored. The characters don't talk like they're preparing for it, they don't talk like it just happened. Lars and Alyssa never enter any competition, they just headed to skirmishes against the Zaibatsu and G-Corp. The side characters only seeming to be there so that you have a boss to fight. When we get to Tekken 7, instead of having prologues that advance each fighter's story, the player
it's a completely different type of gameplay
fight that the character finds themselves in.
Bob
Unless
and
you're a
Nate,
DLC
right?
character, in which case you don't even get that. Tekken 6 and 7 are far more interested in what's going on with the war and the Mishimas. I don't have any tournament details
They finally
anymore
fight to the death.
because there aren't any. So yeah.
Lars
Lars Alexanderson used to be the head of the Tekken Force. Apparently the dude's always been there behind the scenes, we just never got acquainted with him. But when Jin Kazama starts using the Zaibatsu to destroy the world, Lars takes a step back and asks himself, wait a minute, are we the baddies?
Yeah,
So
somebody has common sense, that's crazy.
50% of
I love how I say Jin's the only good one, and then Jin does some fuck shit like, yeah, let me start World War 3. It's like, bro, let me say Laws is the good one. Let's hope he is, right? The one good Mishima type of guy.
These turncoat Tekkens would wear new flags and call themselves Yggdrasil. It's at this point that Eddie Gordo approaches Jin for help regarding his capoeira master. See, he didn't win the last tournament, which means he still doesn't have the money to pay for his medical bills. Jin agrees to help, but only if Eddie fills the vacant spot left behind by Lars.
Okay,
and so
fair enough.
Eddie Gordo becomes the leader of the Tekken Force,
we the villains,
in a war he wanted nothing to do with. He shares an advisory role with Nina Williams, who acts as Jin Kazama's second in command. In fact,
That's good, then.
Nina joining the Zaibatsu encourages her sister Anna to join G Corporation along with Bruce Irvin. Quite the
Barely be feuding still.
we got here. Anyway, the plot really kicks off when Yggdrasil goes on a mission to take over one of the Zaibatsu's laboratories.
Damn!
Lars leads his squad inside, kicking all kinds of ass.
Lars be on it, huh?
They come across a control room with some kind of cryo chamber.
Uh-huh.
資料によったボスコノビッチの娘に似ているが博士の娘はすでに死亡していたはずです
Yeah, do you remember that plot point from Tekken 3? Of course you don't.
No,
During
no,
this invasion, Yggdrasil gets surprised when G Corporation also shows up, flooding the place with jack robots.
I'm so confused why the
There's a
combat's like
stumble
that,
and an
huh?
explosion which knocks Lars out and conveniently gives him amnesia.
Really?
It's at this point that he accidentally opens the cryo chamber, unleashing Alyssa Boscovich, who is equipped with jet boosters, chainsaw arms, and also has the ability to take off her own head and use it as an explosive. She has an infinite supply of heads, thanks to nanomachines.
Oh!
This character is so anime and over the top that even for some Tekken fans, it was too much. Oh, I can handle the devil.
I can imagine everyone being pissed.
I can handle bears who know kung fu, but kawaii anime robot girls who tear shit up with chainsaws? You've gone too far, Tekken.
Yeah.
I'm more shocked about what kind of guy Dr. Boscovich is. The old man lost his daughter to disease and then completely recreated her as a fighting robot.
Valid?
Weird,
no?
man.
Yes?
Also
No?
strange,
No. What I'm
Dr.
saying.
Boscovich never appears in either Tekken 6 or Tekken 7.
He's gonna be an 8.
Robo-Dog
Let's see.
plays such a significant role in the story, and he just goes bye-bye. Where is he? I don't think he's dead. He shows up for the tag games trying to analyze male pattern baldness on the Mishimas. No, really. Which apparently is negated by the devil gene. No, really. But he himself is just gone now. The way that stories
What that head do though, for real? Who the fuck is that? Grendel?
Anyway, Lars and Alyssa escape the base, and since they both don't know what's going on, they decide to go on a journey for answers.
Wait, so Lawless has no memory now, huh?
Street thugs, the Tekken Force, robots, bear cubs, kangaroos, a marching parade,
Huh?
sumo wrestlers, and even goddamn demons.
Okay.
There's so little narrative structure to the campaign that I have no idea why.
There's the actual campaign?
That they are. What good is finding Armor King gonna do? Oh yeah, Armor King's alive. Kind of.
Which one? Who is it?
After King and Marduk made up,
It's
and became
Marduk, yeah.
friends, someone ambushed the Valley Tudo fighter in the locker room.
Oh.
And he looks exactly like Armor King.
Who is it then?
But later, King is reminiscing about his old master when he makes a shocking discovery.
What? Was that not his master? Oh, he has a brother. That's so fucking stupid.
I'm sorry, but that jaguar mask makes everything funny.
Yeah,
Turns
alright.
out this new Armor
It's
King
not just
is the
one
brother
person.
of the old one. Why the hell did he hide that?
Well-
Armor King didn't think it was worth mentioning that he was in a tag team with his brother? Whatever.
That's so
Armor King
fucking
2 wants
stupid.
revenge on
Okay,
Marduk,
well, fair
and King
enough.
is caught in the middle.
I won't blame him.
Anyway, eventually Lars ends up running into Togu, one of his comrades in Yggdrasil. Hearing that the guy has amnesia, he tells him that beforehand he was looking forward
Oh,
to
okay.
meeting
Reggie just
Heihachi
doesn't believe him.
Tsushima, and perhaps
I have
seeking him
no-
out will jog
Thank you,
his
thank you.
memory. Worth mentioning that Lars is a pretty chill guy.
I don't get
He
it.
values his squad,
Why is there so
no
much
time
happening
to
in this
go out.
story?
The guy isn't an edgelord nor a colossal douchebag. Just keep that in mind as we get to the twist. Lars and Alyssa do indeed.
Lars is
seek out
done evil
Heihachi,
too, and then
but the
everything I
entire
say just
time
goes
has been
to fucking
chilling
shit,
in his
apparently.
state. After a
You
failed
hate to see it.
assassination attempt by the Tekken Force, he's just been plotting and scheming over how to get the Zaibatsu back. Upon seeing Heihachi, something triggers in Lars's head. His memory comes back completely, reminding him of his true heritage.
Oh,
この血を引く以上お前のように衰えていくことは避けられないということか
damn, the grab it. Poor Heihachi.
お前が北欧で指揮した作戦を覚えているか
Yes, Lars is actually a Mishima, a bastard child from one of Heihachi's youthful indiscretions.
Okay.
Because you can't have the hero of the story be anything but.
Yeah, and then he's gonna turn.
Memory
Yeah, okay.
returned,
Well, it's gonna go
Lars
shit.
aims to kill the man who abandoned his mother.
Damn. He's gonna dodge a bullet. Or not? Really? Yeah, that don't do shit, huh? Headbutts a bullet. That's fuck. Oh, never mind. He bites the bullet.
Once
Literally.
again,
Damn.
unkillable. Lars basically goes, alright, fuck it, I got more important things to do. His new goal for the game is to take down Jin Kazama and end the war. This involves breaking into the Zaibatsu headquarters.
Is this actually the story
Tekken
gameplay?
Force, Eddie Gordo,
That's so
Nina
confusing.
Williams, even a giant demon robot named Nancy.
Huh.
Yes, Nancy. And of all the times I've gone through
that
Tekken
works.
6's arcade mode, I have never beaten this damn thing.
Oh.
It kicks you to the next match as soon as you lose, so it takes forever just to retry. Screw you, Nancy. But eventually Lars ends up riding the elevator into Jin's throne room.
And that's
The
final
guy is
fight.
commissioned to
What about the
cover
fucking tournament? What the
statues with his
fuck?
Devil gauntlet clutching the
Alright.
world. Just a tad on the nose. Before Lars can take this guy out, though, Jin activates his secret weapon.
What would that be?
限定モード開
The Sable Safe mode? Oh my god. And okay, well.
始どうした
Finding her in a Mishima laboratory was
Yeah.
no coincidence. Dr. Boskanovich created her to serve as Jin's bodyguard.
Yeah.
And because he's the head honcho, she has to obey anything he commands. No, Alyssa, please! This isn't you! Think of all the good times we had!
Yeah,
Anyway, Jin makes
damn,
his escape
that's kind of
and heads
dog.
to Egypt. To a
Egypt?
special ruin that was hidden away by magic until the Zaibatsu started
My
destroying
head
the
hurts from
world.
this at this point.
This
What
place
the
houses
fuck?
a very nasty creature known as Azazel.
Okay, I've heard of Azazel.
Rectifier.
Yeah.
And apparently it's waking up, creating volcanoes and shit in the Middle East. Lars is joined by Raven and proceeds deep inside.
Oh,
where he
Raven's back.
encounters the G Corporation as well. He and Kazuya
So this is the actual story mode? They made like a whole ass third person type of game?
貴様三島の血を
Oh yeah, apparently all the electricity that flies off of Heihachi and Kazuya, that's a Mishima bloodline.
Yeah.
thing. I guess they descended from the thunder god Raiden. Lars reaches the center of the ruins and comes face to face with Azazel. A giant Anubis monster and by far
Oh.
the cheapest fucking boss in any Tekken game ever. I swear, even on easy mode, this asshole is ridiculously cheap.
Oh.
I hate him with the fury of 1,000 suns.
Damn.
Luckily, in scenario campaign, you have buffed stats, and
That's
you can sneak
good.
behind him while he's distracted by Raven. Double teaming this prick is so damn satisfying. Lars defeats the creature, but he still has one target left, Jin Kazama. But not before being forced to battle his former friend.
Oh, she remembers. Awesome. Aw, and she just dies. Well, she's a cyborg. Oh, android. She should be fine, right? Oh, iPad, maybe. Damn, everyone's just a fucking cunt, huh? Jin, I liked you, bro. I liked you.
Final battle, Lars.
And they just jump him like it's JJK. That's valid.
Who love to snipe me from far away. Yay. But eventually Lars pulls off the victory. And it's now, at the end, where we finally get an explanation as to why Jin did all this. So remember the nightmares he was having in Tekken 5? He was being communicated to by Azazel the Rectifier, and the Beast tells Jin that the Devil Gene is his creation, that Azazel is the source. And when human misery gets so strong all over the world, it's
damn, you really can't beat that motherfucker, huh?
Destroy everyone. Only someone with the Devil Gene can stop him. But what if Azazel returns long after Jin and Kazuya are dead? Who will save the world then? So using the power of the Zaibatsu, Jin single-handedly attacks everything and everyone just so Azazel would wake up earlier.
What?
And sure enough, Lars did not actually defeat the beast. It comes out of the temple to bring
so is that valid then?
But
No?
Jin rushes towards it, punches a hole through its chest, and falls with it into a ravine.
I guess it's a ravine.
Killed for good.
It's not for me to judge if he was right.
That's valid though. Never mind.
Maybe you're such a saint. You think you can.
Oh, fuck off, lady. Yes, Jin technically saved the world, but he killed so many innocent people to get us there.
Damn.
The world will never be the same. I remember a lot of people were put off by the decision to turn Jin heel, and it's completely changed the character. Now he's an edgy sad boy who just wants to die, to get his comeuppance for all the evil that he's done.
Damn, that's sad though.
And it's morality. They just didn't want everything to
That's
be
kind of
so
sad.
cut and dry.
Damn.
Lars leaves Alyssa with Li Chaolon to be restored to normal, and Raven ends up finding Jin after everything's all said and done. And with that, we only have one more game to talk about.
7, and I can play 8 after. Damn, that was a journey, huh? That was a journey.
So as of August 2022, this is the newest game in the series. It has a 2-hour-long story mode that aims to explain a pressing question that many fans have had for years. Who was Heihachi's wife? Who was Kazuya's mother? Believe it or not, the identity of this character was hinted at ages ago in Tekken 2. Because in the dojo stage, you can find an engraved marking pairing up the names of Heihachi and Kazumi. This is something that's actually existed since 1996. But Tekken is a very secretive and mysterious franchise, so it was left alone until now.
Damn, so much lore drops it, huh? I know Akuma's in this one from Street Fighter, so that's cool.
May be dead, but the war between the Mishima Zaibatsu and G Corporation is still raging.
Is Jin gone?
With Jin missing in the Middle East, the Zaibatsu is running aimless. This forces Heihachi to return from the shadows, storming in to take his company back. And Nina sends the entire Tekken force after the guy. Dudes armed with machine guns and
so Heihachi's has been alive then. I guess he's dead in this one.
All of them away
Gonna die at least. I hope.
Are you starting to understand why this man is one of my favorite video game characters ever? Heihachi beats Nina's ass, declaring the company his once again. And Nina, with nothing better to do, decides to serve under him. With the Zaibatsu back in his control, Heihachi announces the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7. The purpose of this competition is to draw out Kazuya and expose him for who he really is. You see, the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2 wasn't televised, so no one but Heihachi really saw his devil form. And the only time he ever transformed again is when he fled Hanmaru back in
that devil thing looks ugly, damn.
No one knows what this guy is capable of, only that he's the hero who fought Jin Kazama. This tournament will be the perfect venue to show
there's why is a tournament in fucking 8 that okay, I guess I'll fucking see.
And that's why the Zaibatsu can't possibly stop fighting this war, because they're the good guys, actually.
Damn.
It's quite the plan, quite the plan indeed. But while meditating inside of his dojo, Heihachi is visited by a special guest.
Yeah, Akuma. I know, I don't know why.
Whoa, what the hell? That's Akuma.
Yeah.
Akuma, if you're unfamiliar, is from Capcom's Street Fighter franchise.
I wonder
Ever
how
since
did they
Super
agree to
Street
that?
Fighter 2, this guy has been a special boss fight, one of the deadliest villains in the lore. He's a man who sacrificed his humanity to gain the ultimate power, the Satsui no Hado. His motivation is to find a truly worthy opponent.
So he fought
constantly
Heihachi?
the series hero
Nice,
into
Alpha.
joining the
How are
dark
you?
side. That's all well and good, but what the hell's he doing here? I'm no stranger to the concept of guest characters, but they're not typically driving the plot. Like when you're playing Mortal Kombat 11,
That's true.
it's not like RoboCop shows up out of nowhere.
But he
just
actually
saves
matters
the
at this
day.
point, right?
But Akuma is
yeah.
integral because he is here to deliver vengeance on behalf of Kazumi Mishima.
Kazumi, really? Huh. His wife. Oh wow. Oh wow. Kazuya? That's a good point too. Wow.
What? For context, Kazumi died on the exact same day that Kazuya was thrown off the cliff.
Oh wow.
That was like 40 years ago. Akuma was given a task to
And he
prevent
just didn't
two
do
men
it?
from
That's
destroying
crazy.
the world, and he waited until after a fucking world war to start killing them.
That's
Nothing
fair.
about Tekken
Maybe?
makes any goddamn
No?
sense.
I guess not.
So the two battle each other, and because Capcom has really tight protection on their character, Akuma, of course, defeats Heihachi.
Really? I'm surprised I agreed to that. That's
To be fair,
mild.
Tekken's very protective too, because right after delivering the Raging Demon, Akuma buries Heihachi's body.
Oh.
Plants him in the ground, leaving to go after Kazuya next. But Heihachi isn't dead. This is getting comical now. The Raging Demon is supposed to be pretty strong. It is canon in the Street Fighter games that M. Bison was killed by this very move.
Yeah.
His soul needing to transfer to
Okay,
another body
well,
that
that's
he
fair.
can't prepare.
I guess Heihachi's
Oh,
built
yeah,
different
Street Fighter's
in
pretty
that
good too,
sense.
but
I don't know what's going on.
Heihachi
Who could see that
survived
coming?
all of that. Unkillable. But for some reason, Heihachi wants the world to think he's dead, so the Zaibatsu does just that. They cancel the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7.
Huh.
But why? Instead, the new plan is to wait for Kazuya and Akuma to battle, and when they do, Kaz will have no choice but to turn devil form in order to survive.
Huh.
And the Zaibatsu will be there with drones to take pictures, exposing him
Oh,
to the
wow.
world.
That was
And
kind of
that's
smart.
basically what happens. But also, Heihachi decides to kill them both by utilizing Dr. Abel's
Kill.
space
Yeah,
cannon.
kill them.
You
Yeah.
remember, the thing that took out
Damn.
Jack 2 is still up there, and it's in the possession
Damn.
of Heihachi.
That's crazy. Yeah, that does.
He fires the
Damn.
thing off, destroying the G Corporation's Millennium Tower. Why did no one think to do that before?
Oh,
Of course,
yeah, he ain't dead.
Kazuya is still alive.
Yeah, like, oh, come
The
on.
world turns on him. Heihachi sends the devil pictures to the media, and everyone is so
Damn.
shocked and horrified to learn that the world's savior is actually Satan. So
Yeah,
Kazuya
literally.
gets revenge by firing his big fuck-off devil laser into outer space, destroying Dr. Abel's space
Mm-hmm.
cannon. And this causes satellite debris to crash into a major city, which turns the public back against the Zaibatsu. I'm not kidding. Apparently the public
What's
is
going
under
on?
the impression that the Zaibatsu did it on purpose. Why would they do that?
The atrociousness of the fighting was inconceivable.
That's crazy.
And they soon forgot about Kazuya transforming.
They forgot?
Because apparently that's something you
Huh?
forget. Anyway, one thing Tekken 7 does different from the other games is tell its story through the eyes of a journalist.
Oh.
One who's covering the Mishima family, looking for information on how this whole war started. He approaches Heihachi asking for an interview, and surprisingly, he accepts. See, this is
Really?
Heihachi's last stand. With the reputation of the Mishima Zaibatsu all but ruined,
Hmm.
he challenges his son to one last fight.
This is
Winner take all.
Iron
there
Fist
can be
tournament? Oh
only
no?
one.
Maybe?
So,
Question
in case
mark?
he doesn't
That's what
come
I'm
back,
wondering. Yeah.
Heihachi decides
No.
to get his story out there, revealing the truth of his wife's death. He was married to Kazumi Hachicho, a fellow martial artist that Heihachi loved very much. That is until she started to show symptoms of a split personality.
Huh?
And this alter ego reveals that she married into the Mishima family purely to kill Heihachi before he eventually becomes a threat to
Nobody
the world.
What?
The Hachicho family has been forever cursed with the devil gene, exacting vengeance on whomever they please. They have a fierce fight, but again...
Oh, she kind of fine though. Damn, she kind of fine. Kazumi like that? Damn, okay. And he kills Kazumi? Okay, that's fair, because, you know, I guess she was trying to kill him, so... Oh, and he kills her? Yeah, damn.
Just
oh, does Kazuya see that?
Despite how devastated it
oh, he didn't want to do it, though.
And so we
damn.
have a bit of a retcon here. Heihachi did not throw his son off the cliff to see if he was worthy of the Mishima name. He did it because he wanted to see if his son had the devil gene.
Oh.
Which is a little confusing.
Yeah, that's kind of
odd. If he does survive, then why would you raise him knowing full well there's a split personality just waiting to kill ya? But if he dies, well, good one, dude. You just murdered your innocent son for no reason.
Yeah.
Oh, the twisted morality of Tekken.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Sympathize with the man who
that's crazy.
Maniacally and bombs buildings with laser cannons. Kazumi knew he was a monster, so I'm not sure she's actually a villain. But hey, Kazuya and Heihachi meet inside a volcano for their final showdown.
Oh, it's this.
And my
okay.
recap can't possibly do it justice. It's got multiple phases, flashbacks to the past 20 years of Tekken games. Kaz fights in his devil form. Heihachi turns Super Saiyan. These guys just beat the living shit out of each other. Kaz even nuking his old man with lasers that he somehow survived.
Oh. Damn.
Heihachi strikes Kazuya so hard that the guy reverts back to his human form.
Jesus.
Keep in mind that Kaz still hasn't beaten his father since Tekken 1. He lost in Tekken 2. He lost in Tekken 4.
They built different, apparently.
Dad will not go
Can he beat Goku, though? That's the wrong question.
He still feels like the helpless 5-year-old boy. This is his last chance. It's now or never.
Oh, he does it? Like one punch? Oh, he stops his heart, huh? Oh, wow. That's a sad death. Hate to see it, damn.
And he does it. Kazuya defeats.
Does he, though? He come back?
And as these Tekken games tend to go, it ends on a cliff peering over the volcano.
And he throws him off? Yeah, I guess he actually dies this time, huh? I think? Maybe? Everyone got such powerful voices in Tekken 2, huh? Wow. Is that it?
After all of that,
almost.
Heihachi Mishima is finally
dead. Is he though?
God damn.
That's what I'm wondering.
So where does this leave the story of Tekken? Well, one thing I glossed over is that Lars ends up finding Jin in the Middle East and brings him to Lee Chaolan for protection. He spends the entire game unconscious until the very end.
Okay. Wait, who's Lars' voice actor? I know it. Uh-huh.
And that, ladies and gentlemen,
they
is
call him
the
Dad.
Insane lore of Tekken.
Yeah, my fucking head hurts. That's so stupid. But I guess no, I was gonna say it makes sense, but I should have done a drinking game. You know, if I actually drunk, then that would make sense. Yeah, I would have been hammered by the end. Jesus. Okay, this is a conclusion. I guess he's just giving his thoughts. Great video by who was it? Clement, it's cool. I'm gonna put this on YouTube. So YouTube, my outro is here. Like, sub, comment down below. I'm gonna play Tekken 8 story. So Twitch is down below if I haven't finished it by then. But Jesus, that was something, huh?